It's time. You are now live with the Deuce. Welcome to the street.
We won't bow down. Yeah. They shut the gate too fast. Call it peace, call it class. But I see who they wave through, and I see who they ask to move. Porch lights on the same old block, same old story, same old talk. If your skin says you don't belong, they can make a wrong look strong. But the fences don't define us, and the fear they feel will blind us. Every face they try to hide still stands right here tonight. Keep us out, keep us out, keep us out. We know what that is about. Keep us out, keep us out. We won't bow down. Keep us out, keep us out, keep us out. Your fear won't right the route. Keep us out, keep us out. We won't bow down. Names get tossed like stones from a driveway built on loans. They pointed brown hands first, then pretend they don't rehearse. But the steps on every street carry more than whitewashed dreams. We belong where we stand, no permission in our hands. Yeah, and the silence won't protect you when the pattern keeps on showing. Every wall they build in pride makes the truth come back alive. Keep us out, keep us out, keep us out. We know what that is about. Keep us out, keep us out. We won't bow down. Keep us out, keep us out, keep us out. Your fear won't right the route. Keep us out, keep us out. We won't bow down. Let it crack, let it show. Every lie they try to grow, one by one the voices rise till the whole thing can't disguise. Keep us out, keep us out, keep us out. We know what that is about. Keep us out, keep us out. We won't bow down. Keep us out, keep us out, keep us out. Your fear won't right the route. Keep us out, keep us out. We won't bow down.
What it do, guys? It's your boy, the Juice. And as you all know, my name is Troy Bradshaw, but I go by the Juice. Big welcomes those of you guys tuning in. You know, we've been continuously doing the late night show thing where we continue to keep Nancy's name out there, continue to cover the case revolving around Nancy. Been some new information, but not really new, in regards to the second ransom note. As you all know, Harvey was one of the first people from TMZ to get that letter, along with another news station as well. So, of course, we got to talk about that tonight. Good to see you guys all. Chris dropped another well, this time it was a video. It wasn't a live. He had talked more about KVOA, the sheriff, how a lot of us streamers were treated. So I can't wait to talk a little bit about that tonight. It feels good to have a bigger voice their opinion, and just kind of stand with us, kind of take our side a bit. He's both sides, obviously, but he definitely isn't standing for something that isn't right, and we highly appreciate that. So shouts to Chris. Much love to Chris. A lot of people putting new information out there. A lot of people sharing a lot of good thoughts revolving around the ransom. So we definitely want to talk a lot about that ransom tonight. Maybe talk a little bit about that timeline too. Everything kind of comes together when you talk about one thing. You kind of got to talk about all of everything. There's been so much stuff that's happened in this entire case. I don't know about you, but for me, I find myself forgetting some stuff that has happened. So with this case, you kind of got to replay things back and even ask yourself questions sometimes, when you're thinking about anything really. I mean, this case has been crazy. It's been crazy. It's been everywhere. It's just one of those questionable cases where you just can't figure it out, because the lack of information. We just have had the most of hard times trying to figure out anything in this case. But nonetheless, as time has gone by, we've been able to dig deeper and dig up more information. And I can't say that 143 days in, we haven't, started to make things make more sense, because we definitely have. And thanks to Chris, because he's opened up a lot of people's eyes, as far as them understanding why we were out at Nancy's, why we get out and do what we do, why we continue to keep Nancy's name out there. Thank you, Chris. We really appreciate that. And whoever else has understood that too. And again, there's obviously a lot of things that Chris does, as far as his background and what he does, that we just don't understand. But that's okay. In time, we will. But I'm glad he came back on today. He readdressed some things to make things kind of make more sense, because I think based on certain things that he said, and we'll talk about that in a minute, people didn't quite get it. They didn't really understand what he meant by some of the things that he said. So thanks, Chris, again. Couldn't think that. I mean, it was just so wonderful to hear, man. It really was. So as far as the ransom, there's been news going around. You know what? Before we get to that, let's just dive into a prayer for Nancy here before we get going here. I'm going to try to speed through stuff a little bit as fast as I can, so I might be a little bit everywhere. I didn't really have much time to sit down and watch a lot of these videos. I got to watch a few of them, but time was not on my side today as usual. But I didn't get a chance to watch a few of them. But most of everybody has seemed to be stuck on that timeline today because of what Harvey had released. So anyways, we'll get back to all that. Let's just dive into a prayer here. I want to speed through some of this so that way we're able to kind of get to some, maybe even some calls. I'm going to try to limit the stream for no longer than 3.5 hours today, because I don't want to get off at 6 in the morning. Just so I could get like at least 1 hour of rest. I don't really get rest, Anyways, join me. Feel free to join me for a prayer here. Prayer for Nancy, guys. Dear Heavenly Father, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity, as usual, to get on tonight and express my thoughts amongst myself and obviously hear other people's thoughts pertaining to the viewers here and the people who reach out through email, through text, through any platform. I'm highly appreciative of all of the people that support all of us, including myself, as a streamer or YouTuber. I just want to continue to pray that you watch over us all, Father, and keep us all safe, and watch over my family and everyone else's. In dear Jesus' name, amen. And of course, we got to take a brief moment of silence for Nancy here. Amen, folks. Amen. We loud and clear? We loud and clear. Good seeing you guys all. Big welcomes. I got to say hello to those of you guys in the chat. Pretty Cookie, welcome in. Cowgirl, welcome. Good seeing y'all folks chiming in here with me tonight. Patriot Pride had a nice show. Little Annie, good to see you. Says Patriot Pride, great show tonight. Shouts Patriot Pride. They had Richard Dolette on the panel tonight, so I hope that went well. I chimed in for a few. I know he was all locked in with the cipher diagram thing or whatever you call it. So I know Adam probably didn't see it. Much love, Adam, man. Big salute to Adam. I appreciate you chiming in tonight, man. Much love. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for always stopping by, man. Much love, Adam. Bruce Davis, good to see you. Says thanks, Sean. And I know that's been a long time, so just hope she's still there. Oh, they must be having a conversation. My bad. Chad, big welcomes, by the way. Karina says, hi, Juice in chat. How you doing, Karina? Sandy Bothwell, big welcome. Sean Block, welcome. Denise, Innocent. So many folks chiming in so far. Regina. Seashell, Seashelly, I think that is. Fur Babies. Paige, Gia. I want to say, is it artist or I want to say it's artist. We'll just keep it at artist or art. I don't know. I don't want to say that wrong. We'll just keep it at artist. Cali Girl, big welcome. Sound good. Welcome, guys. Just want to say hello to those I see in the chat here. Blessed by the best. Like the name. Big welcomes. Tarshere? Is it Tarshere? That's hey Juice. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good to see you guys all. Glad to see all you guys in the chat. Shouts to all the members chiming in with me here tonight, too. Big welcomes. Everyone's auntie says, hey, Juice in chat. Big welcomes. And Southern Grace. Welcome, welcome. Lisa, I see you. Enrique, I see you. Good seeing y'all. Anyways, I want to chime in on this ransom here just for a bit. We'll talk about that, play a couple videos here. There's a lot of good videos out there, actually. Just real quick, there's been a lot of fake news going around on Facebook. Be careful where you get your information on Facebook, because I would say that's probably the best place to find fake news. And I know a lot of people have been getting news that Nancy Guthrie has been found. She has not been found. If it's on Facebook, it's probably more than likely to be fake, unless it's somebody, a reliable source that you know for sure that delivers factual information, or somebody that you know. So just be careful where you get that information on Facebook. Harvey posted today, though. And we know Harvey was one of the first people to get the ransom notes. And we know one of those first notes obviously demanded cryptocurrency for Nancy's return. The second note said that she had died shortly after her abduction, but did not include any apology or request for payment in exchange for her body. That was the part of the news report today. So I'm assuming that Harvey's sharing more information that he didn't want to share before in the ransom note. Remember, he didn't want to share some things in that ransom letter, and I believe the FBI asked him not to. But pertaining to the note that he's talking about, I believe the note stated that I guess that they had apologized for killing Nancy. However, the source that was familiar with the investigation said it did not offer a direct apology. I was so kind of confused about that. I mean, that's what I read. I have no idea. They reported that the email sent from the same IP address has an earlier note included details about the night of Guthrie's disappearance. I think investigators believe that Guthrie was abducted from her Arizona home in the early hours of February 1st. And she made it home on the 31st, obviously going into, or the 31st of January, obviously going into the 1st of February. We know the first note was sent February 2nd, demanding the cryptocurrency. And then that second note was sent on February 6th, which included that, she had died shortly after. And obviously, like I said before, the ransom notes were sent to the media outlets. And it had specific deadlines. One was a 5 p.m. deadline. I think it was on the 5th. And the other one was a consequence. I guess I think it was more I guess you could say that because it had a deadline on a Monday, I believe, February 9th. And we know that there was like no way at all the family could get in contact with this person. They had no, direct way to communicate with whoever sent these ransom notes. And I think that was one of the reasons why we didn't think, it was legitimate. I think that the FBI, they worked the lead on this thing as much as they could, but also because there wasn't any proof of life, they did not pay. But I also think the FBI wouldn't pay a certain amount, and I think that was just a way, it was beyond a substantial amount. And I think that might have been part of the reason why Savannah went ahead and offered $1 million. I could be wrong. I also don't know. I question whether or not Savannah would even have that much money. I think we get caught up too. And not everybody who has, let's just say she has $12 million. The demand is, well, it was 6 million at one point, right? That last deadline ended with 6 million. Why would I want to risk going completely broke, not even knowing if I'm going to get that money back? But I think we all get caught up in the fact that someone's net worth is not what they have. It's what they've made. So just because somebody's made $40 million does not mean that they have $40 million in their bank account. Not to say I'm not, I mean, I would assume that she probably has very great money management. So I'm not going to look past the fact that she has well over amount, including her husband's income and probably businesses and books and whatever else of revenue gain that she has. But who knows? Who knows? But I've always said from day one, if they believed it was real, a reliable source of help would have been the community. And I think that money could have been raised without her even having to withdraw any money to, see if she could get her mother back. I still question if if Savannah regrets this. And, she goes back and thinks like, man, I should have just sent that money. I don't know. It would have helped her a lot without her even having to dig in her own funds. But maybe that just wasn't a thought of choice. Some people question whether or not the ransom was real or not. I think what made the ransom real was what was described in the ransom. Like the floodlight, the Apple Watch, and I think that ransom letter, one of the ransom letters, described what Nancy was wearing. And I think there were just maybe even other things within that ransom letter that the family could confirm. And I think that's why Savannah said that, she believed the first 2 ransom letters were real. But that's just my thought. I want to watch this video. It's about 7 minutes. I guess it's short enough to watch the whole thing, because I usually try not to watch the entire videos. But I gotta play this video because I don't think a lot of us really heard what the other party had to say that received the ransom letter. And Ashley Banfield, I believe, had brought that up today from one of the other, news stations that got the letter. But let's play Harvey's first. And then we'll play that other one where she's talking about, they almost sound a little bit different, but let's just play this real quick.
I want to talk about Nancy Guthrie and some communications I've had with the FBI that I haven't talked about until now. But I want to start with these reports that this ransom letter that we received kind of apologizes to Savannah Guthrie and her family for the kidnapping, and that that Nancy was no longer alive. That was not in the ransom note that we received. It is not in that ransom note at all. It does say that she's scared, but okay. But the ransom note makes no reference to Nancy Guthrie either dying or the kidnappers apologizing. Now, there is a reference to Nancy Guthrie not being alive anymore, but that is from the person who sent us multiple emails saying that he knows or knew where Nancy Guthrie was and where the kidnappers were, and he wanted money in return for information. We passed that along to the FBI as we did the ransom note, but this person kept sending us emails. And early on, he said, time is of the essence. And then a few days after the kidnapping, he said, time is no longer of the essence, meaning she wasn't alive. So that's where that came from. Not the people who kidnapped her, but from the person who was sending us these notes. Now, that person wanted effectively $100,000. He actually reduced it at some point, but that's what he wanted in return for giving information about the whereabouts of Nancy Guthrie or her remains and the kidnapper. This person also said that he was afraid that he might be implicated. He had a burglary on his record from, I think he said, 11 years before. And apparently he knew these kidnappers well enough that he was afraid he might be implicated. He also said he wanted to go underground, which is why he needed the money, because he was afraid that they would exact revenge on him for blowing the whistle on the kidnappers. So the FBI never paid that money, or never got the Guthrie family to pay the money to the person who was sending us these letters, these emails. I will tell you that the FBI did put around $270 in the Bitcoin account of the kidnappers. And we knew that. We were asked not to talk about that while all of this was going on. But they wanted to see if they could trace that person. They couldn't. As for this other person, the FBI took it seriously. They felt, at least in my communications with them, and I had numerous communications, they felt that this person might indeed know. For some reason, they never paid or never asked the Guthrie family to pay that person for information leading to the identity of the kidnappers and Nancy Guthrie's remains. I was always confused about that because I'm a skeptical guy, but there's something about those emails that made me believe that this guy may well have known who the kidnappers were. And the reason I say that is that initially he said, in the first letter, he said, time is of the essence, meaning you better hurry up, I can tell you where she is. But then the next day he wrote, time is no longer of the essence. If somebody is scamming and wants to get money, why would they say time is no longer of the essence? You want to say, no, time is still of the essence, so you can get the money and make people feel that it's...
So to me, it's almost like Harvey is questioning whether or not that these ransom letters from Colella, because I think that's who he's talking about. He's talking about the fake ransom notes, not the real ones, might have some type of connection, like if he's confused. I don't know. What do y'all make of this? I mean, it's kind of like he's not sure.
Urgent to pay it. For him to say it's no longer of the essence, to me it felt more truthful because he was taking away the urgency to pay the money. So I always had this gnawing sense that he might be indeed legit. But for some reason, the FBI never pulled the trigger to pay the money. So around 3 weeks ago, I called the FBI back. I hadn't heard from them in a while. And I said, look, it's been gnawing at me for a long time that there's something about this guy that felt legit. And I said, look, what if TMZ does a documentary and that we try and get in touch with this guy and even pay the money? And if he takes us to the location, then you get resolution. The Guthrie family gets resolution. And if he scams us, he scams us. But I just had this real feeling that it might be real. But we didn't want to interfere with the investigation. So
I got to stop Harvey right there because real quick, I've always thought from day one, and I guess you can hold me to it, but I've always felt like Harvey's interfered with this investigation by even the other news stations, not just Harvey, for putting this ransom note out there. I don't know why I've always felt like Harvey should have gotten in touch with the FBI first, and maybe he did. But I think he should have reached out to them first before he, shared the ransom letters or some of the ransom letters or bits and pieces to the world. Because I would only assume something like this would be confidential. But I mean, hey, we want to know anyways. I mean, but I don't know if this helped. I don't know what this did for them by him sharing this type of information, but that's just me.
The contact I had at the FBI said, look, that's interesting. Let us get back to you. And I talked to him a few days later and he said, well, it's something they're looking into. And I thought, okay, fine. And then a week passed and I called back and left a message, and usually my messages were responsive, where they would call back, and I got nothing back. And I've called a half a dozen times since over the last couple of weeks, and I've gotten nothing back. For some reason, the FBI has gone radio silent on me, and we have had ongoing discussions because we've tried to be helpful over the many months now that this has been going on. But they've ghosted me, and I don't know what that's about. But I've kind of not talked about it, but at some point, I just want to put it out there that, you know, this felt like maybe we could do some good. And for some reason, the FBI has gone radio silent. I don't understand it. I'm not suggesting that the FBI is doing anything wrong, because they've really tried to solve this. But it's just curious to me that this one guy who has sent us, I think, around a dozen emails, it's just somebody that I felt knew something. But for whatever reason, this is all kind of evaporated into thin air.
But why would they want to keep entertaining this? This is not for entertainment. This is somebody's life on the line. So why would they continue to communicate with you? You know, if you're sharing information, you know, and he doesn't have to say word for word what the ransom is stating. All he has to do is say what he's been saying. Like one of the things that he said, well, the grammar was very, very good. You know, I don't know if that was good to share. I really don't. Because every other thing that we don't know, I would only believe that they've told them not to share any information at all. I don't know. I just feel like he might have crossed the line. And then remember, he kept saying that he wasn't going to, you know, talk about it anymore. He wasn't going to share anything. And then he just kept going. He just kept, it went on for like, what, 3-4 more times. And then Harvey went like radio silent, just like the FBI for quite some time. And we didn't hear nothing about the ransom letters for a while, probably because they stopped talking to him. But I don't know. He was really enjoying it, and I get it. I mean, it's a very interesting, it's a unique case. It really is. We knew that from day one. But I didn't really feel comfortable with that. I didn't think it was a good fit for the case, and I think they probably would have told him not to share anything at all. But I just feel like he couldn't hold back. He could not hold back. But anywho, I think I'm trying to remember the other news stations that received the letter. I think it was Cold, and I think I'm missing one other one. And I don't want to say the wrong news station, but I'm pretty sure it was Cold, KLLD. And I thought there was one other news station that might have received the letter. I don't know if chat, maybe y'all can help me out here. See, I told you I forget some stuff sometimes. I don't remember if there was another news station or not. I know it was Cold, but I don't know if I feel like there's one other one that got the letter too. But that's from the beginning. That's one of the things that made me question the ransom letters instantly, because I just don't see anybody going through a very big platform. You know, TMZ's got 5 million subscribers, you know, to express that to the world. And that's what made me assume that this was to inflict pain, because you want to go behind the scenes to make sure you get your money. You don't want to blow your cover or, you know, for police to get involved. That's like I would only assume that that's one of the things that you don't want. But maybe their plan was so great, or they thought that their plan was so great that it didn't even matter. And maybe they felt like their best source would be the FBI getting involved, and they knew the money was guaranteed due to the fact of them going the Bitcoin route. I don't know. Who knows what this person was thinking, right? Connie has gifted 10 membership. Shouts, Connie. I appreciate that a lot. My goodness, Connie. It's like every time I go live, you're always blessing me with new members. God bless you, Connie. I truly appreciate that, man. Big salutes to Connie, guys, man. If you have just became a new member, make sure you thank Connie. Highly blessed to have you as someone who supports the channel and spends time here watching. Much love, Connie. Carolina Bruce, Pink Snowball, Native. It looks like Army with Harmony, if I said that right. Daniqua, Albeki123. My goodness. Look at all these new members. Jesse Gaming, Tracy Unicorn, JJ Booker. Man, Pink Snowball. Man, all these folks officially new members. Sandra, Texas Angel, all new members thanks to Connie. God bless you, Connie. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the team for those of you guys that are officially members of the channel. Wow. Just look at that thing go off in the corner there. Sharing all those new member names. Much love. Ghost says going on a panel today. As in phone calls? I hope so. That's why I want to kind of speed through some of this. So take a look just real quick at what Ashley Banfield had to say. And remember, this was during the time when all the media was out there. That street was flooded with media. It doesn't even look, this picture right here doesn't even look crazy, you know. Well, it does, but I mean, I feel like it even got, you know, flooded with even more people in time. And if you look it up, the media, it says that the media was out there 6 weeks, until week 6. And that's crazy. That's over a month, which is insane to see all these people camping out, tents everywhere. You got trucks, media trucks out there with their hoods up and some type of thing hooked up to the batteries so they can have some type of good air conditioning. I have no idea what it was for. It was I believe they use those things for like power, a power source, I guess. I have no idea, but I found that interesting. But these guys were really camping out. They were really out there to stay. They knew, you know, they had a feeling that something was gonna, you know, pop off, but nothing ever did. But it was just amazing to see. I mean, even the media attention that was at Andy and Tommaso's house was pretty interesting as well, but it just wasn't as crazy as Nancy's, of course. Check out what Ashley Banfield shows us here, coming from the other news station here.
If it's real, even more special. If it's fake, definitely special. Let me quote specifically from ABC News and what they are saying about this so-called apology. It's really
so was it ABC or is this what they quoted? Okay, hold on.
Howard Blum from Airmail that's effectively saying there's an apology.
Oh, okay.
ABC is saying
the update.
this. Quote, the first note demanded cryptocurrency for Nancy Guthrie's return. The second note, according to sources, said that she had died shortly after she was taken and was, quote, buried in nature. First time we've heard that. That's from ABC News. News Nation is also adding to that and saying, quote, a ransom note in the Nancy Guthrie case said that she had died and was buried, sources close to the investigation said. According to the source, the note indicated that Guthrie's death was, quote, unintentional and said that she was, quote, buried with nature now. Just a little bit more detail on that. Let me read from Howard Blum's reporting. And I want to read his exact text because I think it's specific and I want to attribute this to him, not to me. So the exact text reads, in this note, the contents of which were summarized by sources close to the case, the sender took a new and less confident tone. It opened with a sputtering and labored apology. That was the word used by a source close to the case for Guthrie's inadvertent death. And Howard Blum's quote goes on. It says, it went harshly on, however, to offer up the transactional possibility that her body could be delivered for a sum. Whether it would be the original $4 million or another amount apparently was never clarified, end quote. So again, this very detailed description from Howard Blum, quoting sources close to the investigation, suggests that it was a sputtering and labored apology, that the death was inadvertent. Howard Blum doesn't say buried with nature. That's ABC News. And then there's News Nation saying buried with nature now. So very specific stuff that's come out. And I think what's so important at this juncture is to go back in time to what was happening right around this time, because you'll probably remember that one of the local news stations that received the first ransom note, but then only this news station, KOLD, received the second note, right? KOLD was the only station that received the second note. TMZ did not receive that. But the news director, her name is Jessica Bobila. I hope I'm pronouncing Jessica's name right. She told News Nation in an interview with Elizabeth Vargas, effectively some of what that second note was all about. She was pretty cagey, though, because I think she felt like she shouldn't be giving out some of the details that the FBI and she had discussed. Clearly, you know, they got this note and they went to the FBI with it, but she wasn't going to divulge everything that was in it, but she did say some things. And I think now when you look at her interview, you can kind of like connect this new reporting and feel out whether you're getting the sense that that's what she's avoiding saying or that that's what she's pointing to. But watch this interview with KOLD's news director, Jessica Bobila, and think about what's coming out now. The fact that there was an apology in the second note for an inadvertent on this.
Okay, we'll pause it there real quick. My girlfriend wanted to say hi to you guys, and my daughter wanted to say hello to you guys for the first time here on the live here.
Hi, chat. Thank you guys for everything you guys do for Juice. Hi. Hi, guys. Thank you, Daryl family, for everything that you did for us.
Not just them.
Yeah,
Say
and
everybody else.
Everybody too that gave us the money for the court and the lawyers.
Much love. I think there were some people that were asking about the Gibson Go. It's gone, guys. We took it down. It's been, how can I put it in words? Unpublished. Okay. Now it's time we go get that lawyer. Still haven't yet found one just yet, but now it's time. And it's going to be, I think it's a process to receive the funds or whatever like that. I think it's going to be maybe like 2-3 days, or it could be 5. I don't know. But we wrote a note. So for those of you guys that are looking to try to contribute and donate, it's done for. I was telling you guys yesterday that I was going to take it down, and it was up there long enough, and we appreciate all the love and support. And I posted it on X. We left a little message there for you guys, but it has been unpublished, so that thing is gone. So feel free to read that bad boy if you'd like. But we appreciate you guys. It's been an honor and blessing to have all you guys' love, support. And I just can't thank you guys all enough. And I just wanted to take this time to say thank you guys all. And I meant to say this in the beginning. But I truly appreciate you guys for standing with me and moving forward. We're gonna fight, and I'm gonna fight for us. And I'm confident and highly hopeful for the best outcome. So it's time. It's time. It's time. I was gonna add one more thing. Can I say this? So I'm trying to put this in the right, so I want to put this the right way, but we'll spin around back to it. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to say thank you. I truly appreciate it. It's been one heck of a ride being new to crime. You guys know I always tell you guys I got so much more to learn, so much more to do. And it's been, you guys know it's been tough. It's been tough. And people don't understand how much pressure we've felt, Criminal Network and I. You know, I know 857 and even people who didn't, you know, receive any citations that went out to Nancy's to get out here and just keep her name out there. The pressure is on. The pressure is on. But I know you guys are going to help me through it all. And I just wanted to say shouts to the JLR Army. He's helped all three of us reach our goal. And I'll try to keep you guys all in tune every step of the way for the most part with as much as information that I can give. You guys know we got to protect the case as much as we can too, so it's only so much that I can share. But when it's all said and done, we're going to walk. We're going to walk. You know, I've been pretty upset with KBOA. I think we all have. And we'll spin around to that because we're going to talk about that with Chris. Thanks to him, he's really digged up a lot of stuff within the short amount of time that he was here. So man, just thank you guys. God bless you guys. Much love, folks. I appreciate it all. Much love. But I wanted to just share that with you guys real quick. No more Give, Send, Go. It is officially down. Feel free to help out the other guys, though I know they reached their goals, but I know their Give, Send, Go is still up. And you know, you never know how much you're going to need. We don't know. I know for sure that probably both of us, all three of us, are probably going to need 2 different attorneys. So, and that's all. That's all. I don't want to say too much, but that's pretty much what it's going to be. There's been some trolls going around. Oh, did he spend the Give, Send, Go money on this, on that? The money's going straight to the lawyer. Straight to the lawyer, guys. I promise. And I'll keep you guys updated to make sure you guys know that money is going where it should. But anyway, let's just chime back in on this video real quick. Where were we?
New message.
Let me go back here because I think we got to kind of get back to the spot we were in. But thank you guys. Thank you.
And I think now when you look at her interview, you can kind of like connect this new reporting and feel out whether you're getting the sense that that's what she's avoiding saying or that that's what she's pointing to. But watch this interview with KOLD's news director, Jessica Bobila, and think about what's coming out now. The fact that there was an apology in the second note for an inadvertent death and that she was dead and buried now and that maybe money could get her back. Take a look.
On this new message is the KOLD news director, Jessica Bobula. Jessica, thanks so much for coming on. You've read this new message. First of all, did it provide any proof of life that the family's been asking for?
No, it did not.
Did it say anything at all about Nancy's condition?
I can't go into those details.
But clearly the FBI is now swarming Nancy's house, especially in the backyard area. Was there anything in this newest message that would direct FBI to go look or find something?
We're not releasing details of what is contained in the email out of respect for the family, other than what you saw in Mary's social post, which actually the reporter also mentioned as well about the IP address.
But the key is we just saw that video from Cameron Guthrie last night at this exact time. The night before that, we had the video from all three of the Guthrie siblings with Savannah, Annie, and Cameron, all asking repeatedly, urgently, for proof of life. And you're saying this newest email does not provide that.
This newest email is something that I believe the FBI will need to look into without any interference. And so what we did the first time that we received the note, which is immediately send it to investigators and not report on it. And when we were able to speak with the sheriff's office and they decided to put out a statement jointly with the FBI, then we were able to confirm that, yes, we did receive a second note.
When did you get that? What time was that?
That was about 11:45 this morning.
And apparently you've been saying, Mary Coleman, who was on the show last night, your anchor, your evening news anchor, said that it's from a different IP address than the first one, but it still appears to be from the same person?
Yes. So what we have done is shared the information that we have. So the notes were both sent through our news tip system. So it does not need to come from a personal email address. You fill out a form. So through what we are able to do, you know, in our back end with our website and our technology that we have here, we're able to make sure that the FBI has as much information as we can provide about where the email came from. But it is not from, you know, a certain email address. You just fill it out, you put your name in there, you put what your email address is, but it's not, you know, it's not showing that it is coming from that email address. So the IP address information that we sent to them is, like I said, that it is not the same address.
See, that's one of the reasons why I question that ransom loan. I mean, there's so many interesting things about the ransom letters, but it's also, I mean, and shouts to Army, because he kind of woke me up to it. I mean, when he mentioned that he thought that those first two ransom letters were real. And that's another interesting thing about the ransom letters is the fact that they weren't able to get the IP address from those first two. This person was good. I mean, whoever it was, I mean, maybe I'm overthinking it, and it's just not that hard to you know, prevent the FBI out of all people from getting your IP address or figuring out who's sending these ransom notes somehow, some way. And you would think the FBI has it all, right? Which is crazy. One thing in regards to the FBI that Chris brought up that I didn't get to touch up on yesterday, it just reminded me. He had brought up the fact that there were 3 Walmarts within the area of you know, Annie's business within that area there. I remember in the beginning, those Walmarts, they said they were checked and they weren't able to dig up any information in regards to you know, anybody making a purchase of buying the particular items that the perp had on. So I think that there was a good chance that this guy could have even stole those items. You know, he could have stole them for all we know. But it just seems like this person was good, man. He's just that good so far, and I hate to say it. You know, I don't want to give him any confidence. I mean, I'm sure at this point he's gained a lot of it by just the amount of time that he's gotten away with this. One other thing, I don't know if Chris should have mentioned the idea of us going out and checking the parks and whatnot. Because, and again, he wasn't saying, and we'll play that in a minute, he wasn't saying that they were homeless or anything like that. He was just saying that it could be a chance that going to those places, we could possibly dig up any information or somehow dig up some type of information. Somebody out there knows, right? But this person could be trying to blend in and living, you know, in a homeless area too. I don't put that past this person. Reason why I'm mentioning that is because not only that, it seems like Nanos is eliminating all of these possible areas that we could go to try to dig up information. But the reason why I'm saying that is because let's just say this person is homeless. And I think we would all agree that the perp is probably watching, right? So if he is, that's only going to alert him to move. So I feel like maybe if we were kind of discreet about it and then we just kind of hit him with it, you know, I feel like it may be more effective, but you know, there's other places to search. But I don't want to, you know, obviously give away my own ideas. Because I knew once he made that comment, somebody, you know, some people were going to start going out and searching these parks. But anyways, just wanted to say that real quick.
But it does seem to trace back to a similar cloaking software.
And it sounds the same in tone and tenor?
It's hard to tell. You know, there's sentences, sentence structure, but we're also doing a lot of reporting of our own today about how with digital notes, you know, this isn't a piece of paper with magazine letters cut out or anything. It's hard to tell, you know, with things coming through digitally, is it assisted by AI? Is it, you know, written by the same person? It's very difficult to tell.
And did this...
What do y'all think? Do you think, and that was a good point she brought up, because remember, Chris had said, I'm sorry, not Chris, Harvey, he had said that the person that wrote the ransom note or letter had almost perfect grammar. And I actually never heard her say that, but she brought up the point on whether or not, you know, this person could have used AI, possibly, you know, assisting him as far as writing, you know. That's a good one to kind of think about. But it all goes back to somebody who's very smart. A lot of the times I think we find ourselves thinking, you know, it had to be somebody like a teacher. I looked it up in the beginning of time and I simply just typed it in on Google that if you are a biology teacher, do you need to have good grammar? And I'm not saying any names, but upon looking it up, it said that for the most part, that was one of the most important things, as, you know, part of being a biology teacher. So that had me thinking. And it's just food for thought. Just figured I'd bring that up. But being a biology teacher, you definitely have to have good grammar, which is kind of interesting.
Message have an email address on it?
Yes, our form does require that you put a name, an email address, and a birth date. And so both of the notes had that, but they were not the same as each other, the two notes.
So they were different. The name, email address, and birth dates were different on the two notes. Were they?
Right. Like I said, it's just a form, so you can just type it in. There's no way to verify that.
You can put in Roger Rabbit and yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is this commonly known that people can get messages to you this way, in a way in which they don't have to reveal their name, their email address?
It's a system that we use, and we've had it on our website for years. What I'll say
By the way,
is that it's usually
just real quick, I wanted to shout Adrian out. Thanks so much for the love and support. I appreciate you with the $10 super chat there. Much love. And I think we also had another person with the super chat. I know you guys ain't gonna be here all night, so I figured I'd shout you guys out and thank you guys. She says, "Juice, we got you. And you got this." I like that. Little Annie with the $10 super chat says, "You are blessed." I mean, you guys, all thanks to you guys. I definitely feel that way for sure. Uh-oh. Did we lose service? Oh no. I think I might have lost y'all. Are we back? I'm getting scared, man. I don't want this to reset and all that. I think we're back. I think we're back locked in. Whew. Where do we leave off here? Yeah, I think I lost y'all for a second there. Are we good?
Is this commonly known that people can get messages to you this way, in a way in which they don't have to?
Okay, so I'm gonna backtrack a little bit where we left off here.
Is this
That
you can put in
Woo!
Roger Rabbit?
I thought we were gonna lose the stream for a second. It looked like we did for a moment there. I don't know if you guys caught the part where I was kind of shouting you guys out there for the super chats, but thank you guys for those super chats, Adrian. Just to be sure, we came through there. Much love, guys. I don't know why it doesn't let me click on those bad boys. I was trying to pull them up here, but I think we're all right. Be careful who you're muting us. Tech has read metadata. So confused. Oh, I think we must have some trolls in the chat. We can hear you, not the video. Nah, the video's coming through. Let them know in chat if they can't hear me, guys. Feel free to reset. I guess I could type it. If there's a mod in here, just kind of let them know to reset if you can't hear the video. But it's on. I just checked the sound and everything, so we're good here.
Yeah, okay. Is this commonly known that people can get messages to you this way, in a way in which they don't have to reveal their name, their email address?
It's
no, not hearing me, the sound of the video.
It's a system that we use, and we've had it on our website for years. What I'll say is that it's usually not used in this way, right? I mean, usually people do want us to be able to contact them. Hey, I have a news tip for you. Please call me at this number or email me back at this address. And then we say, oh, okay, here, would you like to talk to us about your news tip? So it's not usually an issue, but yes, that is the case.
Chelsea, big welcome, by the way.
You can fill out the form however you'd like. In fact, some people do send in anonymous news tips.
Shouts made in the dark tuning in.
I couldn't tell you why, but that may be one of the reasons why our system works that way, so that a person could send in an anonymous news tip. But then, like I said, it's just depends upon if they leave a way that we can then contact them back.
So that is the news director of KOLD. I think it now makes a little bit more sense looking at her comments. It feels like it's in line with this reporting of an apology for an inadvertent death, and that it happened after she was abducted, and that there might be money that could satisfy perhaps a return of Nancy Guthrie's body. To that end, many of you were very astute when you saw Savannah Guthrie's comments after February the 6th. Okay, so this second note came February 6th, and Savannah Guthrie and her family, they came together and said, effectively, we have heard what you've said.
Thanks for the gift, Clippy.
We understand. We want our mother back. And she uses the term to celebrate with us. Many of us read into it back then, like, what does that mean? Does
Remember that
mean as in a celebration of life, meaning she's no longer with us? It was at that time that many of the rumors were surfacing that there was this note that had come in.
What do y'all think about that? Remember when they stated that when they had that when they spoke to the person who wrote these ransom letters, did anybody ever understand that? Remember that they wanted to celebrate. They said that we want to celebrate based on the return of bringing their mother home. So when we open up the phone lines, if you want to touch up on that, please let me know what you think that they meant by that, because I really never really understood that. By the way, guys, there was a video that I forgot to play. And it was about a guy that was told by Pima County, a guy that spoke, and I think this went around on Facebook, and he was saying that the Pima County Sheriff came knocking on the door, saying that he can't post the truth about certain people and things on his page. Did you guys, did anybody ever figure out who that guy was? My girlfriend was saying that she thinks it might be somebody who called one day, but I don't think this guy's ever spoke to me. So I'm kind of confused. But we'll play that video in a second here. I'm not going to continue too much with Ashley Banfield. I just wanted to share those 2 videos with Harvey and the other ransom letter that came from KLD for their side, because it was kind of crazy, because they kind of shared they kind of shared 2 different information. I mean, it was different information based on the ransom notes, which was kind of interesting to me. Inner Strength says that seems very odd if police did, right? Julie says, what guy? I'll show you guys in a minute. I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the video by now, at least for the most part. Man, I'll be so harsh. Is it Bruzetta? Says the family's very weird and Savannah is phony. Man, I wonder why people feel that way when it comes to Savannah. Like, do you guys think that Savannah may just be hiding something? Is it possible? Would you be surprised? You know, I don't know. It's tough. You know, I think for the most part she's been honest, and she shared information with us that we would have probably not got from the FBI. Missy says, I thought that they were saying that they had accepted that she was deceased. I think so. I think that's part of the reason why they just didn't want to pay that money. Because, you know, and not only, you know, them not having proof of life, but why pay all that money, you know, if your mom's gone, you know? Is it worth it? I mean, I guess that's a question you have to ask yourself. I mean, everybody would make their own decision when it comes to that, but is it worth it to pay $6 million on demand, you know, in Bitcoin at that, you know, for someone who's unalive versus someone who is alive? You know, is that still the same worth, you know? Because at the end of the day, I think what mattered the most was simply bringing Nancy home. You know, it didn't really, you know, I don't know. I don't know how they felt. I can't speak for the Guthrie family. I can only speak for how I would have handled it. And if, you know, I mean, this person disguised himself so well, you know, preventing them. He was really good at, you know, leaving no trace. So, I mean, even if they were able to somehow bring Nancy back, I don't know how they would have done it without getting caught. But I think that could have possibly opened up some more doors to find this possible, you know, suspect of, you know, if that's the person that took Nancy who wrote the ransom letters, you know. To me, it just sounded like it was a scam. Because how do you think they would have given Nancy back? How would they have done it if they would have paid without being seen? I mean, you have the entire nation watching the world. You know what I mean? So I can't imagine how difficult that would have been. It's a good question to ask, though. Men's Easy says this was cruel. I couldn't agree more. It really was.
I want to talk
So
about
let's
Nancy Guthrie.
skip over real quick to Chris real quick, and then we'll just kind of open up the phone lines and we'll kind of talk about everything here. But real quick, I want to play this video because I don't know if you guys have seen it, but like I said, there was a guy, don't know his name. It doesn't say it. I didn't look at the comments to see if anybody knew his name. I'm not too sure if anybody has said it in chat. If anybody did know that know this person's name. Big welcomes, Tasha. Good to see you, by the way. I'm not too sure if anybody saw or figured out this guy's name, but check this out. And actually, let me see if I can make this big enough because it's actually a quite small video because it's a short. So the video is quite small. So let me see if I can make it kind of fit the screen here. So that way no one really has a difficult time kind of seeing this video here. I gotta cut the bottom because I can't see his bottom half, so just bear with me here. So this is the guy right here that said that they told him, the sheriff at all people told him that he can't post about the truth anymore, about certain people. Let's see if we got sound here. Hold on. Oh, we don't have sound.
Some bad news for you. Hey y'all, I got some bad news for you. The Pima County Sheriff's Office sent somebody down knocking on my door telling me can't post on Facebook no more. At least the truth that I do. So I appreciate everybody that's was open to reading about the truth about certain people. And maybe start your...
Yeah, so I know a lot of you guys have seen this, but I just wanted to share this because I wanted to know if anybody's ever figured out who this guy is. Nonetheless, it would be nice to maybe even get in touch with this guy to kind of see what he shared. You know, what information did he put out there to the point where, you know, the FBI, or I'm sorry, not the FBI, the sheriff came out and told him that he could no longer, you know, post about the truth. Not only that, speaking of the truth, do you think he's telling the truth?
Own Facebook page. I don't know what to tell you. Hey y'all, I got some bad news for you. The Pima County Sheriff's Office sent somebody down knocking on my door telling me can't post on Facebook no more. At least the truth that I do. So I appreciate everybody that's was open to reading about the truth about certain people. And maybe start your own Facebook page. I don't know what to tell you. It's a real sad situation when the news media doesn't want to cover certain things, and when you try to cover it, they send the police to your door. You know, I know things about the department, but it's all on there.
Wait,
they said I don't.
What did he just say right now? Did he just say that I know some things about the department? He kind of slurred that.
The department.
I actually haven't watched this whole video.
Doesn't want to cover certain things, and when you try to cover it, they send the police to your door. You know, I know things about the department.
Yeah, he kind of, you notice how he kind of slurred that? He said, I know some things about the department. Interesting. We gotta see if we can maybe talk to this guy. He might know something for all we know. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I mean, this guy might know something.
You know, I know things about the the department. But it's all on there. They said I can't post anything new. They said I could leave.
It's like he almost wanted to. It's like he didn't want to say that, you know. So he kind of slurred it. He was like skeptical if he should have said that or not.
To your door, you know. I know things about the department, but it's all on there. They said I can't post anything new. They said I could leave what's up. That's what they told me.
Wow.
Anyway, it's a real shame, and I appreciate all of the ex-workers from the parks and the current workers from the parks that have reached out to me, and I've gotten 100% positive feedback from these people. Although there are claims that that's not the case by you know who. So you know who's the truth teller, and you know who the bunch of liars are. And I don't know what else to say to y'all.
Wow.
This is kind of a crappy video. I didn't write out a script or anything for it, and this just happened.
And he's saying it's a crappy video because he's not able to, well, obviously he takes notes before he does his videos, but you can tell that he's sugarcoating everything that he's saying because he's scared. Poor guy. He's really scared. I mean, I would be too. I mean, we don't even know who talked to this guy, you know, amongst the sheriffs.
You know who's the truth teller, and you know who the bunch of liars are. And I don't know what else to say to y'all. This is kind of a crappy video. I didn't write out a script or anything for it, and this just happened. So I'll catch y'all later. I'm banned from the parks.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty funny, huh? All right.
Interesting.
Well, we'll see what becomes of this. There's some things on the horizon, though, involving the state of Arizona Civil Rights Office that might change things up a little bit.
And this is exactly the reason why this gives me more drive and confidence to get out here and fight for our rights. This right here, guys, this is crazy. This guy just said that he's banned from the parks. One thing I didn't mention to you guys yesterday was one of the parks that Chris had pointed out is not in, and I think 857 might have mentioned this because he's local as well. I've been here, all my life, you guys know that, and I know all of the areas that the sheriff cover. I know all the areas that the Tucson police cover. One thing I should have posted that I did do is what Chris brought up, and that was the fact that TPD didn't get involved. And he mentioned that Tucson Police Department has a Bravo team. And I think he was just saying that they have a team for the most part that can assist the Pima County Sheriff Department. But I did that twice. And what I'm talking about is I went up to two different police that were in the Tucson Police Department. And by the way, I think the Tucson Police Department would have had, if not this case, done and over with or cracked, they would have been much further than we are now. We know that because of what he's doing. But I approached two different officers, 2 different days, and asked them if they assisted with the Nancy Guthrie case, and immediately they said pretty much the same thing, that they have nothing to do with it, and they played no parts in it. They helped none whatsoever. Why Chris Nanos wouldn't want to get the police department involved as far as the Tucson Police Department, I don't know. There also is Marana Police. I don't know if they came down, but Marana's not too far from, from Nancy's, probably about 10 minutes away. 15 minutes. And then you got Oro Valley too. But most of that's sheriff, and then also highway patrol. So, you know, I don't know if they got involved. I don't recall them here at all. But we all know Sheriff Nanos has declined all help. And it seems like he's more, we're starting to understand what he's focused on. And like I said, guys, it started with day one. I mean, from day one with the no, you know, first of all, the street became a one-way. And then they had the no parking rule. And it was like he was trying to think of a way to get rid of the media. And that was the way, by enforcing a no parking rule. So he's done a lot to get rid of everybody. And on top of that, he's declined every bit of help as far as really, really good. That's exactly why we got to play this video with Chris, because he's pointing out some things that should have been done a long time ago. Mr. Gustav says, makes sense if she was dead on day 2. You overstayed your welcome waiting for Nancy to come home. Interesting. I guess somebody's in the chat trolling, maybe. I don't know. But maybe he just got here. Because I just pointed out the points, some of the points and reasons why we've stuck around in the neighborhood. But this is the reason why folks are saying, hey, Juice, don't go to the park alone. Because this guy is saying that he got kicked out of the park. He's no longer allowed to, first of all, that's freedom of speech. You're allowed to, you know, be able to express your opinions and thoughts on your own platform at that. Your own platform. Now they're saying he can't even walk freely in a park, a public park at that, and simply go talk to people or express his personal opinions. That's just crazy to me. These guys are really trying to control people, literally. It's just sad. It really is. But he's going to find out everything that he's doing, just like everything that everyone else or that people do is wrong. I always say those things, whatever it is that people do wrong, it's only temporary. It's only temporary. What was he doing in the park? I have no idea. I think he was doing videos from what I'm getting from this. I think he was doing his own little videos talking about the truth. I don't know exactly what, you know, he was doing in parks. He looks like a pretty chill guy. I mean, I don't see much. He doesn't look like a very harmful guy either. So, I mean, I can't call it. Hyper Kimberly, big welcomes. I don't know if I said hello to you tonight. Is it Irony? Big welcomes. Conspiracy says he could be a plant. Interesting. So let's skim through this video real quick so we can get through some get to some calls here with Chris. I wanted to play just one more video here with Chris. It's about a 14-minute video. maybe we'll kind of watch it all because it was just filled with so much good information. And he just kind of recaps yesterday based on everything he's talked about. And by the way, there's going to be 3 parts to, I believe, what he picked up and observed out here. So tomorrow, I think the interview room is going to be pretty, they're going to have a pretty big audience tomorrow, I'm sure, because everybody's waiting to see what else Chris might have dug up out here.
From Tucson. And it's this idea about this concept of professional integrity, not only from Pima County Sheriff's side in terms of the administration there, but we realize there's also this joint effort by the local news media to, quite frankly, not really tell what's going on in this investigation on the ground. And what do I mean by that? I have information directly from law enforcement, and I'll just use one simple example, Tucson Police Department, where they have not been asked in any way, shape, or form to help in the search for Nancy Guthrie. And specifically in the areas that we showed you last night, where today we saw some YouTube streamers out there basically pounding the pavement and asking about if anybody recognizes the guy that may have abducted an 84-year-old woman, and that there's a $1 million reward for information and or the arrest of this individual. Now, quite frankly, that should be happening by law enforcement. And instead, the sheriff, in conjunction with the local news agency, KVOA specifically, the news journalists aren't doing their job. They're not asking the hard questions, and they're more concerned about YouTube streamers versus getting to the facts and the truth and asking the sheriff, why haven't you communicated with Tucson Police Department? And by the way, anybody that's going to question this, that's not a problem. I'll show you the email tomorrow, and I'll bring the receipts to the table. So the sheriff is not telling the public details about this investigation that, quite frankly, are critical. Now, what we showed you yesterday is just the tip of the iceberg. And for clarity, 2 things. One, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that a homeless person did this. What I was trying to point out to the public in a professional manner was these are the types of environments you would want to go through or go to on the ground to see if there's a link and a connection within the circle of any of the family members. And in this particular situation, it just so happens that the shop where Annie may or may not even currently sell her jewelry, but she was definitely down there, and she used it as her shop address, and everybody knows it in the Splinter Coalition down there. Is there a connection between criminal activity and or coming across her path? What I clearly showed over the weekend, the answer is yes. And so what does that mean? It means you have to, from an investigative analysis aspect, take that as a considerable lead, and then you need to follow it. You need to chase it. If there's something there, fine, you'll find it. But for every 100 no's that you get from people in the criminal activity world, you'll get 1 yes. And only a homicide investigator would know that because we've done it. We've done it hundreds of times. Street cops do it all the time. And so I was appalled by the fact that, you know, Tucson PD had never been contacted, and they have what they call Bravo teams, okay? Pima County Sheriff's Department has street enforcement groups. I forget the name of them right off the top of my head, but Sheriff Nanos basically.
Man, it looks like Chris is out there it looks like he's here during this time, but I don't think so. I think he's in Cali right here. I can't tell really though. I don't know where he's at. Whatever he's in though, that thing looks like it's a pretty nice I want to say that it looks like it's a golf cart, but I can't tell. Maybe it's an ATV because of the seat belts.
Has dismantled all of
or
those.
I'm sorry, 4x4
groups. And in my opinion, that is a severe blow.
Promoting the wrong clown's juice. So you're saying that Chris is a clown? I'm so confused. It does look like it's here though, Deborah. Hey, much love, multi-chick. I appreciate you chiming in. Much love. I appreciate that. Says listening while trying to sleep. I appreciate it. Much love. Maybe desert part of Cali. Yeah, it kind of looks like he might be somewhere in Cali. It's hard to tell because he's somewhere far out. But the mountains look similar, but not really because we don't really have like dirt mountains like that in the back. They kind of look like they're dirt mountains. That doesn't look like that's here. So Chris lives in California from what I've heard. But I don't know exactly. I don't know if that's true or not. People are saying that he lives in California somewhere. But he's back home. Yeah. So, I mean, if he would have did this video, it would have had to have been the day that he was out here. From what I heard, he said he spent about 5 days out here. I didn't even know he was here that long. Julie says, no, he doesn't live in California. Interesting.
To the investigation, even 5 months in. Now, some of you will get it, some of you won't. I understand that.
Ali, good to see you. Big welcome.
I get that piece of the puzzle. However, I expect law enforcement officers, retired or, you know, semi-retired or whatever, they will get it. And those who have never worked murder, I wouldn't expect them to get it. You know, if you've been a range master the majority of your career, I don't think you've stood over many dead bodies in your career. And so, and it's the same if you were a reserve officer with Ogden Police Department. I don't expect you to get it either. However, guys like, you know, Big City Dan, who was Chicago homicide for, you know, 2 decades, he gets it. Maureen O'Connell, former FBI, she gets it. John Lamb, Sergeant, homicide, he gets it. Bob Gilliam, he gets it. And many others, and the list will go on. Off the cuff, they get it. They're former homicide guys. Vernon Gabert, he gets it. And others get it. I don't expect other people, you know, former software engineers who say, you know, stupid things about me or anybody else. I don't expect them to get it. So that's okay. However, I know right now that many YouTubers and many streamers are doing really good things in the Nancy Guthrie case. Quite frankly, it's embarrassing to law enforcement. And whether we like it or not, I have solved so many cases going out on the street, talking to guys and gals like YouTubers or streamers, and ask their ideas and pick their brains. And guess what? They give you a lot of good ideas and they give you a lot of good things to follow. Whether we like them or not, I'm neutral in the situation. I'm like Switzerland, for lack of a better term. So I don't judge people for their past. I don't judge people, for, a lot of things, because I know I've got enough, things in my past that I'm sure before I would cast the first stone, I'd have to look into my heart, because I know that's where the Lord sees my heart. Okay? So I think we should do the same. I don't care what people say about how hard these individuals work out there, but they're doing good things. And so we need to not necessarily not necessarily support them, but just say, you know what harm are they doing? And if they've paid their debts to society, then that's it. You move on and you treat people with respect. You don't disrespect them and constantly disrespect them. And when I heard that KVOA was given a heads up by the Pima County Sheriff's Department administration, not the guys on the ground, that certain YouTubers were going to be arrested and taken to jail, that really bothered me. It bothered me because it put those officers that put the handcuffs on in a very precarious situation, because they were ordered to do it by certain lieutenants inside of the patrol division by pressure from the top, from Nanos' office. And then when I heard that KVOA was given a heads up, and by the way, these are law enforcement sources. These aren't just random people telling me this. These are actual law enforcement individuals working there. It was a bad deal. And this goes for other stuff that the sheriff has said and done. The frontline troops are trying to do the best that they can do under the administrative conditions that they're working under. And quite frankly, it's horrendous. Those conditions need to change. And I'm not just saying this about Sheriff Nanos. I'm saying this about the integrity of the investigation for Nancy Guthrie. Again, I just feel compelled to say this information today. And I know that, it may or may not help, but that's okay. That's okay. Because somebody out there has information about Nancy Guthrie. And it's pounding the streets and going to places where criminals congregate and hang out. And the second piece of what I was trying to project last night and help is, what's the link
Oh, I didn't even know we were muted. I don't know why everybody seems to be. You guys didn't miss nothing. All I was saying was, I don't know why there seems to be so many trolls here in the chat. I mean, so many trolls tonight. I don't know if some folks are just having some bad nights or they just have nothing better to do. My apologies, guys. I didn't realize I was muted. But seems like some folks is just here for the wrong reasons tonight. All I can just say is just keep it classy if you can. Otherwise, we'll have to give you a timeout for a bit. unfortunately, I hate to do it. I like people to be able to talk freely, but I see some folks kind of going on and on. But just keep it classy, folks. Keep it classy. I don't know why people have a lot of bad things to say about Chris tonight, but I mean, he's doing nothing but helping, and he hasn't done nothing but be more than helpful. He actually has said some things that I found, that I wasn't even aware of about KVOA. And I think when he talks about their oath of ethics, I truly wasn't as knowledgeable to that as he was. So just wanted to point that out.
And the nexus, what is the cross correlation, if anything, to the family of Nancy Guthrie? And what do we discover? Well, that's the area where
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice, to get out with him and pick his brain a bit and see what he thinks. See if he has any ideas. But at the same time, it's the beginning of time for me. So I don't really necessarily see myself reaching out to him. And, I think I still need a lot that I got to build on I think the time will come. Maybe not in this case, but I think that time will come. I'm not trying to force anything I think that time will eventually present itself at some point in time. So
Annie Guthrie hangs out in terms of her shop. The Splinter Coalition is the nonprofit that she supports, that she's been supporting for years. Those causes in that area, the homelessness, the marginal communities, those who are getting out of prison, who are trying to go back into the community. Nancy's daughter supported those organizations from her heart. That's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Okay? But we don't know if there was somebody in that circle of influence that may be involved with Nancy Guthrie. We don't know that. The other thing I saw today is the suspect, somebody pointed out on social media, that the FBI had released photographs of the suspect holding something in his hand. Some have surmised that maybe it's a pick. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a key. Maybe it's some type of tool.
I'll read it again. I was reading Trubyu's message, and it says, Chris is great and he supports Juice. He said some great things on the lab tonight. And on TIR the night before, he supports Troy too. Yeah, it just felt good for him to support all of us. Not only that, though, it felt good to know that we're heard. People are actually in tune to what we're actually doing, and they understand what we're doing. And we can't make or expect everybody to understand why we're out there. We can't. So, I mean, for those that think we're out there for all the wrong reasons, so be it. So be it. You don't care to know, you don't care to know. If you don't care to figure it out, you just don't care to figure it out. But we've said it many, many times. And it's just great to know that it's effective, whether it was effective at the moment in time or now. It's starting. People are starting to realize that. And I don't know where Chris got the tip from KVOA. I question that. I'm wondering if somebody reached out and told Chris, like, hey, KVOA did these guys wrong, or he just stumbled across the video. But I think somebody had to reach out to him, but I said this before he even got here. I said something sparked him. And lo and behold, I mean, it was KVOA.
But it certainly is interesting. And again, it shows the level of preparation that this suspect took to kidnap an 84-year-old woman out of her house. I am convinced again that that neighborhood is not random to this suspect. The individual picked it for a reason, and it's not just because there's an 84-year-old woman in there living by herself. It's much deeper than that. This has some level of sophistication, but at the same time, some level of disorganization. And so don't take off the plate that, you know, the individuals aren't watching this video right now. I certainly am not. But I commend all of those streamers who are trying to do the best that they can for the knowledge that they have and the experience level that they have. And I would ask that the Pima County Sheriff's Department support them because they're keeping Nancy's name in the sunlight. And I would also ask that the Pima County Sheriff's Department contact Tucson PD and work with them and their Bravo teams in paving the pavement.
But you know what I know is what I've learned is Nanos is going to stand his ground as far as him doing all of the wrong things possible. And I think the only thing that's going to make the sheriff department better is if they remove Nanos, period. I mean, I don't see him moving forward in a positive. It's been 5 months and he still hasn't changed. He's done the same old thing that he's continuously done from day one. It's not changed at all. Not even a little bit. So, I mean, the only way this department is going to progress is if they get rid of that guy. And like Chris says, he's got certain guys working in these areas that are going to do every bit of wrong that he wants them to do, is what I saw. I can't talk about everything that I saw, you know, the day we were arrested, but I think one thing that I can definitely say was, you know, one of the days that I received that citation, that first citation is, and it's something you didn't get to see on camera because you couldn't really tell, but you'd have to really look. And maybe you'll be able to discover it. But one of those cops, and I won't say which one, did not want to give me that ticket. You know, his demeanor immediately changed when he had to give that citation that day. And I could tell that he was forced to give that citation. I'm very observant. Trust me, I know. And I know that day, that dude did not want to do that. And it's just sad. It is. It's just sad to see. I mean, he's, like he said, I mean, he's dismantled the sheriff's department. He's literally single-handedly destroying his own department. It's crazy. It's almost unbelievable because I never pictured anything like this happening in my own hometown. I mean, I've always thought that, and maybe I just didn't see it growing up as a kid and into adulthood, that there actually is corruption going on amongst the police departments. And people will tell you all the time, and you know, this happened to me, that happened to me, and you just won't even believe it until it actually happens to you. Matt, thanks so much for becoming a member. Shouts Matt, much love. I think we had spoke today too. Shouts Matt. The law enforcement was reprimanded for saying that to Juice. Hug a bug. Hug a bug. I don't know what that means. Ginger Root says the first citation, it took them 20 or more minutes to figure out what to charge you with. They were in their truck forever. Yeah. They actually weren't even in the truck. They were on the other side of it. Texas says, look up how many people have been unalived or died while in Pima County Jail. Yeah, I think Criminal Network was talking about that the other day. I can't remember the exact number. I think it was somewhere in between like 30 and 50. It was quite a few people. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the family, though. Matt, thanks so much for becoming a platinum member at that, too. Wow. We got to figure out some perks to add for the members. And also make up some custom emojis. Haven't had any time to do that at all. Hey, good morning, Brandy. Chris did a 4x4 search for Susan, is it Morphew? And it was in Colorado with Mike King. And they were chased out of town by thugs with guns stalking them, allegedly. He's been involved on the spot in many big cases. I believe it. I believe it. I mean, he talked about standing over, you know, I mean, we're not even going to say that. I mean, he's talked about some pretty, you know, serious situations that he's been in, you know, working in homicide. We got a Discord. I don't know if you have the link made in the dark. Somebody's saying make a Discord and get everyone brainstorm with you, or let everyone brainstorm with you. Yeah, more than welcome to. I got to get more active in the Discord. But yeah, we're trying to get some people in the Discord, and I think we've got a couple people in there now. Zona Morrison, big welcomes. My apology if I missed some of you guys' calls. I know there were some folks that I missed their call a little earlier today. It's going to be a fairly busy week for me throughout this week, so I won't be able to, unfortunately, answer a lot of folks' calls. But I will get back to most of you. Won't be able to get back to all of you because obviously I'm not going to remember. But I got to write. I guess it would help if I wrote it down. So I'm going to open up the phone lines for a bit. Feel free to chime in if you want to chime in. I put the number up there on the screen. Let me know how you feel in this case. Where do you think we stand, you know, in this Nancy Guthrie case? Do you feel like we're getting closer? You know, do you feel like this case is all going to be resolved soon? Or will it, you know, be another 143 days before we are able to get any information as far as finding Nancy moving forward, or crack the case, in other words. If we get the DNA, do you think we'll hear about it? And should we? You know, I question if they got that DNA. You know, I think they got that DNA. At least the hair, they know. Mr. Juice.
What's up, Juice? What's up, bro?
What's happening, man? Chris?
This is Chris.
What's happening?
Yeah.
See, I remember.
You know, I like what Chris McDonough says, you know, everything that he was talking about, and basically putting the corruption of Pima County out there. You know, the 7 days that he spent in Tucson, he had an insider basically inside Pima County that was giving him all this information, you know, and I like how he's, you know, basically on y'all's side talking good things about y'all. But what was really shocking was when he just brought up the fact that KVOA knew ahead of time about what was going to happen before y'all got arrested. That's what was crazy. You know,
Yeah,
I'm like, this sheriff is so corrupt.
yeah,
You know, and then not even contacting Tucson Police Department, you know, and getting their Bravo teams to come in and help, because like you'd mentioned, I honestly think that a Tucson Police Department was there from the beginning, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. This case might have already been solved.
yeah.
You know, but I mean, I just wanted to shout out and say, keep your head up. You're doing a great job. All the streamers are doing a great job. You know, found out today Damien was able to raise the money for his attorney, you know, and all that, which was good because he was on JLR, you know, and JLR's army helped out, you know, and everything else. But, you know, when it's all said and done and over with, because I was also watching when Chris McDonough was doing his video last night, he even said that Chris Nanos stepped over First Amendment rights and that justice will be served. I honestly think that by the time y'all go to court and, you know, your attorneys and all that, I honestly think that Pima County is going to leave y'all alone after that, especially, you know, if y'all win y'all's cases, which y'all will, you know, and everything else, and everything will get dropped. Chris Nanos could be so pissed off, there's nothing he's going to be able to do about it.
Yeah, thanks for having confidence in us too, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and
I've got all the confidence in the world in y'all, man. That y'all are going to win this, because I mean, y'all weren't in the wrong, y'all were in the right. Like Chris McDonough said, you know, if it wasn't for you streamers being out there, nobody would know what was going on. Y'all were basically keeping everything, you know, up and going, boots on the ground, you know, and all that different kind of stuff. You know, because it seems like Pima County's not wanting to do anything. And if they are, they're not releasing information. You know, it's like they're trying to hide something. And I think that's the reason why they were trying to get y'all out of there, is just because they're hiding something.
Yeah, and Chris is starting to realize that. He's starting to realize they're really withholding information. I like the way he said, you know, do the right thing, you know. You know, because, you know, obviously KBOA is trying to do any little thing they possibly can to get, you know, political gain. And it's like, you know, you see even if you see their videos on YouTube, and I'm not trying to throw them under the bus in a sense of, you know, putting them down. But, you know, if you notice when they post videos, I think I looked at a video earlier, it had like 9 views. I kid you not. But I think that they're a news station that's really on the low end, and they're just trying to get anything they can to get that news.
You know, I noticed that too, and I think what it is because with them being a major media outlet, you know, right there in Tucson or whatever, and you got these streamers out there that are getting more views and more followers than them.
Yeah.
They're kind of jealous. And who's not to say that they didn't go to Sheriff Nanos and say, hey, you know, why are these guys out here doing this, this, and this, and be some of the 911 calls? How do we know that, you know, that they're not behind it too? Because of simple fact, like you said, you know, their following is going downhill.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like when she did that interview with Chris Nanos, and Chris Nanos said that even if one of our local media is out there, we'll cite them and arrest them. But sure enough, when y'all were out there, y'all seen a KVOA truck, y'all get arrested, and next thing you know, there they are, broadcasting from the Catalina foothills. Did they get cited? No.
Before we were even booked, they were on the road breaking the rules, quote unquote. Before we were even booked. I mean,
exactly.
I wish people knew how bothering that was, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people were just as bothered, you know. I mean, but yeah, I mean, that it was.
I was bothered by it, Juice. I'm like, y'all weren't even at the jail yet, and they were already breaking news, blah, 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 you know, right here at Catalina Foothills. And then they want to sit there and keep going on and on and on and making all these different, like, little short videos in depth, this, that, and the other, and all that. Basically trashing the streamers.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the heck?
We would be more than happy to give them information. I mean, if they reached out, I mean, I feel like we've dug up enough information. We could give them something to do,
Exactly.
I mean, they could even interviewed us, and I think they're starting to realize that, our following either, I'm not even going to say it's more than theirs or better than theirs, but I mean, we've got enough to at least communicate with them somehow, some way, or, send a message, they know they messed up. They know they messed up.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
know
funny
they messed
because
up.
they came back out trying to play both sides and trying to make it seem like they're concerned for the most part about our First Amendment rights. But that's when I knew, they've been listening. I mean, but Monica made it clear the first day she came out that she didn't like us when she read that sign that they put up. The neighbors asking, saying that they need time and space to heal. I don't know if you recall that note right in the middle of Nancy's.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's
well,
just,
and another thing too is like, I could tell that day that you got the citation, what you're talking about by that cop not wanting to give the citation, and all that. And then like the day that you got arrested when Damien was out there, 857 Tucson, even one of the cops said, hey, we don't want to do this, but we're ordered to. I even heard it on the video. They're like, we don't want to do this. Y'all didn't do anything wrong, but we were ordered by a higher up. And then, that's when, 857 asked, well, who's this higher up? And he says, my lieutenant, and all that. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Here it is y'all are afraid to lose y'all's job. Why worry about losing your job? Go work for another county. If all these people would sit there, all these deputies would sit there and go against everything Chris Nanos has to say and all that. And if everybody was to walk off the job, who's going to be left to go out there and investigate everything? Nanos. You think Nanos can get out there in a patrol car and go to every single call? No, he's not. He's going to be like, well, what the heck happened? And get a reality check, especially if he has no deputies working for him. And it's like, I mean, like everybody's pointed out on all their streams, is he's a dictator is what he is. He's on a real bad power trip. And it's like, you either do what I say or you lose your job.
Yeah.
And I remember watching one stream, I think it was with Brian Enton. He was interviewing a guy that actually, the guy that he interviewed was the guy that actually hired Chris Nanos. He was Chris Nanos' boss for a long time. And, I guess when he was a deputy or whatever, and then whenever Chris Nanos becomes sheriff, then he worked for Chris Nanos. And he even talked about, how corrupt he was from the very beginning. And this guy got even fired by Chris Nanos, and he was Chris Nanos' boss for like 20 some odd years, and all that. And then all of a sudden, when Nanos becomes his boss, he gets fired because of his views, because he came out and told Nanos, hey, you're corrupt, you're doing this, you're doing that. And it's like, wow, Nanos don't care. All he cares about is getting in that $100,000 Corvette, driving around, parading off like, look, I'm the sheriff, I'm driving a Corvette, I got this big, nice luxury home. People are going to listen to me. People voted me in, so I'm here to stay. But honestly, I think the residents of Pima County are starting to realize what's going on. And so when the next election comes up, he may not win it. That's if he's not out by then. That's what I'm saying.
No,
I don't think he's going to win it. That's if he's not forced to resign or whatever before the election. because it's like, I don't know, man. It's just, as this case goes on and on and on, I mean, yeah, there's new information coming out, just like with the second ransom note, talked about, she was, buried with nature, and all this different kind of stuff, and it's just slowly, little bitty leaks of coming out, and, Marie O'Connell and Chris Madonna and all that. I've seen some of the trolls in your chat were like, well, how does he know what's going on in Pima County? Because he's got inside sources. This man was former law enforcement, former homicide detective. I mean, do people not realize that these top FBI profilers and all that have inside sources that they can get, information that they need, and all that different kind of stuff to try to get out to the public? Because if it wasn't for these people, we wouldn't even have half the knowledge that we have now of the stuff that's going on.
I agree. Yeah.
Just like the whole thing. And I think 857 did like a little video going by the jewelry shop that, Annie had, and how they've been shut down temporarily and all that. And then he also had Annie and Tommaso's neighbor on today on JLO Stream, and he was even saying that Annie and Tommaso haven't even been home. Nobody knows where they're at. They've like up and disappeared. They haven't been home in like a couple weeks. And
why do you think they haven't?
Because I honestly think that, like I've said before, and I've said from the beginning, I think I think they know that the FBI knows that they're tied to their mother's disappearance.
Yeah.
And so now I think they might have went back to like Italy, because, there was reports that Tommaso said that when he come to the United States, that he didn't like the United States.
That's crazy.
So I think they might have went back to Italy, and they're hiding in Italy somewhere.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think, and then on top of that, you got that Derek Kalela
Glow
guy.
G, what law enforcement person?
And take a plea deal. I think he's fixing I think he's fixing to go out there and put everything out on the table just to get the plea deal.
Nothing against you, but I feel like everybody feeds off of everybody's thoughts. Like they say the same thing because someone else has said that. Like I mean, first of all, when you get in a courtroom, most of the time your lawyer's speaking on your behalf. If this guy takes the stand, I guess, and he testifies, maybe they'll get him to say the wrong thing. But I think if he was going to speak, I think he would have spoken already. I mean, maybe he'll be rethinking everything in that courtroom, though.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but also too is they said that he's changing his plea, or like, I guess he's going to plead guilty or something like that to the fake ransom note. But you can converse with your attorney and tell your attorney, hey, I want to say this, this, and this, and then basically your attorney's going to say, you can say what you want. I suggest you not say this, or I suggest you not say that, but you're free to say whatever you want.
Yeah.
You're your own person. Yes, I represent you, and I'm just telling you, you need to watch what you say and all that different kind of stuff. But I mean, the thing is if he's going to take a plea deal because he's going to federal court to do Fed time, if he wants a lesser sentence, why not come out and put everything out there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It'll help you out. It's called the snitch factor. He's going to go out there and he's going to snitch to try to get a lesser deal, and everything else. And I honestly think that that's what's going to happen. And I think it's going to break this case wide open. And then when it does, and, we'll find out everybody, the people that are tied to it, and all that, it's going to shock everybody.
I just don't know what would really make that guy involved. I don't really see him having any, involvement.
Well, there was information put out, and I'm trying to go back and find it, but there was information put out that supposedly him and Tommaso knew each other, and that he had basically emailed or text messaged Tommaso something of like, yeah, I'll do this, but I need a half a Bitcoin, and all this other kind of stuff. But yes, I'll have it done, or I'll do it. Just send me the half a Bitcoin. And then apparently, a couple of days later, he texted Tommaso back, said, hey, where's my half a Bitcoin? And, Tommaso wouldn't answer him or something like that. And this is just like inside sources that have found all this, I guess, that have dug in and all that different kind of stuff, and all that. If it's true, I don't know, but that's what I've been hearing and everything else. So, I mean, I know that they said something about that they played with each other, like briefly, like one concert or something like that somewhere and everything else. So, but I mean, it's just this case every single day. Granted, yeah, there's new information coming out, but this case is just getting stranger and stranger by the day, because here it is now they're starting to release certain details about ransom notes that they didn't release from the very beginning, and everything else. And it's just like, what the heck,
Yeah.
I'm like, man. And then all of a sudden, Annie and Tommaso, nowhere to be found, haven't been seen, and all this different kind of stuff. And it's like, what's really going on?
Yeah.
Why have they disappeared? Where are they at? And I mean, clearly they could just be on vacation. People do take vacations. We can't speculate that they're hiding or whatever because of what's going on. They could just be on vacation. They could be getting away from that area, for a little while to have, peace or whatever to themselves and be on vacation somewhere. We don't know.
I just don't understand what their intention would be to be hiding out. What's their reason besides their safety? What other reason would they be, hiding out?
Well, I mean, you got to think. Okay, so say for instance, if they're tied to the disappearance of Nancy in any way. I'm not saying if they did it, but if they're tied to it.
Oh, yeah, it goes. Yeah, I remember what
whatever,
you're talking about. Yeah.
And they know that the FBI are on them because, it's like, how long did it take for Annie to get her vehicle back? And all this different kind of stuff and all that. And if it's getting closer and closer and they feel the heat coming down on them, yeah, they're going to go into hiding. Hiding's not going to do anything because they're still going to be able to find you no matter where you're at. You can't really hide nowadays, not unless you go completely off the grid, no cell phones, no nothing, and all that. But either way, I mean, going into hiding is not going to help out whatsoever, and like you said, they could just be just trying to, live a peaceful life away from the media, away from the Catalina foothills. They could be on vacation somewhere, for a few weeks or whatever. I mean, we don't know. I mean, people are speculating that, they could be going into hiding, but I mean, we don't know. Yeah. They could be on vacation. They could just be getting away, say, hey, we want to get away from, for a little while because, of what's going on. We want peace and quiet. And hopefully when we come back, there'll be more peace and quiet, but it's just, I don't know.
Well, in due time, we'll find out. I think we'll find out real soon.
Yeah, I do too. Because like I've said before, I think honestly, I'm not, and this is just my theory, I honestly think that the FBI knows who did it. I think they've narrowed it down. I think they're just building a case. So when they go to court, they have enough evidence to convict these guys.
Yeah.
I clearly think that they know who did it. I think they have a name. They know who this person is or persons. I think they know that there was probably 2, if not maybe 3 people involved. They know exactly who they are. They know exactly where they are. They're just trying to build a case. They're trying to get enough evidence so when they take them to court, they could throw the book at them, put these guys away for life.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, from what I understand, Arizona doesn't have the death penalty. So,
we do.
Oh, y'all do have it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, I mean, it's just, I think they're just trying to build a case. And eventually, I think, like I said, within the next month, we're going to hear, like, hey, we have our suspect, we got him in custody, blah, 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 and all this different kind of stuff. But then again, we may not. I don't know.
Yeah, here we do the lethal injection. I think there's over 100 people that are on death row in Arizona.
Wow.
As of right now.
Huh. All right. Well, I'm gonna let other people call in and weigh in on their theories and everything else. But like I said, brother, keep your head up. Text me anytime, and all that. And I've got my own channel. People in your chat have already subscribed to my channel and all that different kind of stuff too. So, I'll probably go live. I'll probably go live tomorrow night around 9 p.m. my time, which is Central Time. So.
All right, try to remind me. Maybe I'll chime in for a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your channel name again?
Fueled by Folgers and Jesus.
Oh, I think you did say that last time. Okay, I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
Did you say it was? I think you said yield, I think it was yield. You said, right?
Fueled, like fuel in a gas.
Oh, fuel. Oh yeah.
Fueled.
I still got it because I know I subscribed. I just couldn't remember the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Chris, and feel free to chime in.
No problem. Yeah, no problem. All right, bye.
All right, man. Much love. Shouts Chris, man. I appreciate him calling in and sharing his thoughts. We had somebody else actually reach out a second ago and call. I must have mixed their call. It was actually a 520 number, which was interesting. I don't really see 520 numbers too often, which is crazy. Lil Annie says last execution was on May 2026 in Arizona. Wow. Never knew that. That's crazy. Ah, it's the number that I just called. It's the juice. Hello?
Hey, Juice.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in there.
Good. Okay. Hey, I'm a local, and I'd like to weigh in a little bit about what's been going on. Appreciate your coverage and all the other YouTubers and sleuthers to keep this situation out there and alive.
Love and respect to the juice. Much love.
Really
I appreciate
important.
the $10 super chat.
And unfortunately, this situation with Nancy Guthrie has brought to light what is going on in Tucson, Arizona. That is the core. There is a core here that needs to be remedied. And I really do believe that that needs to be brought out. And I think you guys are doing that. But I'd like to talk about the core, which is Nanos, the government of Tucson, and to bring light to your very many, what do we have here? Almost 800 viewers. That this is one of the most corrupt communities out there. It just is.
Communities or sheriff department?
Well, communities meaning sheriff's department, government. I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about the government.
Okay.
And it is extremely corrupt, and it has been for decades. And this is bringing light to all of that. You've been a victim of that. 857 has, Alex has, and others. The gentleman, the guy that works for Park and Rec, have you seen his video recently? Where he was banned from. Oh, that's huge.
Oh,
you
yeah,
gotta bring light to that.
We just watched that. The
Yeah,
guy that was banned from going to the
pretty big.
parks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. That's huge, and it is really big for your case and for the other guys' cases, because it sheds light to what is going on here. This guy was banned from public places, public parks, and he was just speaking out about the corruptness. He used to work for Park and Rec. It's a fascinating story, but it really, really needs to be integrated into your story and the other guy's stories, because it is all a part of what's going on here in Tucson.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Nancy Guthrie is bringing all of this to the forefront. I would like to share a recent situation regarding not only Tucson police, but the sheriff's department, where I live in a neighborhood that is not safe. And I don't think anyone is safe in Tucson. I really don't. When you're under a sheriff or a police department or a mayor or a governor of a state that is tyrannical, there is no way out. Like, it just is, it permeates through every single department. So I live in a really in Tucson, and the drug use here, I cannot explain it enough. And I know that 857 has tried to bring this out, and others that have tried to explain what is going on here with the drug use and the homeless.
Yeah.
Is so exasperated. I mean, it is so huge.
Yeah, it is.
You cannot even walk down the street and you don't know if you're going to get stabbed. I am not kidding you. It is that bad. And I mean, I was taking my trash out and I got attacked and beaten to the point where I should not even be here today. And I'm 63 years old. I am not somebody, I'm a young 63. However, and if I had fallen, if I had just tripped and fallen, I would not be here, because a metal bar
Tonight for the
was
first
being lynched upon me. And this is from a homeless person that was whacked out on some sort of drug. And this happens every single day. And people are not reporting it because the police don't do anything. They do not do anything. And if you report it, then these street people, and I call them street people because they're not homeless to me, they get the word out, and then they will come after you again. So this is a situation in Tucson, Arizona, that is so bad that people are not understanding what's going on here.
Sounds like you live next to
And
me.
that are going through this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is all over here. I called last Friday one of these guys. Now, we've had 2 drug raids in this complex that I'm in, and they've gotten, some of the drug houses out of here. But there's still the street people coming in. And there's one guy who refuses to leave, and he just keeps setting up his homeless camp. And the landlord, who is awful, doesn't care, and who knows if he's involved or gets kickbacks. That does happen a lot, by the way. And so I called the police. Apparently they came. I don't know. I received a call back about 3 hours later that an individual was taken to jail. They were taken to jail. And that was it. And I was like, oh, well, okay, because supposedly he was trespassed from the property by the landlord. So I've been down the rabbit hole. I've had to do this. Has taken up my whole day of going down a rabbit hole of between the Tucson police and the sheriff's department. I have an incident number. Or what did they call it? Let me quick look. I think it's called an incident number, but not a report. I can't find a report. But if they take someone to jail, right? There should be a report.
Yeah,
but nobody has a report. And nobody can identify the phone number that I received the recording from, because it's recorded on my phone. And nobody can tell me who called me and told me someone went to jail. The guy is back on the property, by the way. And I cannot get any kind of help from either police department. And you guys are being arrested for just sitting there on a public street. And yet this individual on private property, they won't do anything about, that has vandalized, property, that is a danger to the community and to the residents here. This is going on, and the police aren't doing anything. And I'm going to get to the bottom of that.
Good to see you,
because this is craziness. And like I said, you guys are being arrested for what? And yet, you know, we can't get a dangerous person off of a property that we're being, you know, like she's like, it is absolutely insane. It really is. And the people here that are watching need to understand that this is not an isolated situation. This is all throughout Tucson. It's all throughout Tucson.
Yeah, it's everywhere. People on fentanyl everywhere, all around town.
Oh,
and more.
It is.
Yeah.
And they do it right in front of the cops.
Yeah, and they do
They're
nothing about it.
smoking. They do absolutely nothing about the drug use on the streets. So and these people they're dangerous. This is not a situation that people are just, and it's all over.
It's everywhere. You can't even get away from it. No matter where you go, you can't get away with it. Even on the nicest side of town.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been, you know, it has opened my eyes. Look, I've lived in New York. I've lived in LA. I've lived in Minneapolis, downtown areas, and in places that I've never, ever. And I was a flight attendant for 13 years. I have been around the world. I have never seen anything like what I am seeing in Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah.
It is catastrophic. It's a hellhole. It is absolutely I mean, there are no words for it. And people are not talking about it enough. And I want to bring this up because people come here, elderly. This is an elderly, like the snowbirds come here, and people move their elderly parents and grandparents to Tucson because it's a retirement community. This is not a safe place for anyone, especially a vulnerable individual, which are elderly.
Yeah.
And it is so disturbing that this story and this town should be worldwide. Don't come here.
Yeah.
Like, it's beautiful. I mean, it used to be a really beautiful place to be. The desert is beautiful. It is, you know, there's a lot of art and community here as far as arts and music. But what has happened, it is hell has taken over. And it has been decades of it. And people just keep moving their elderly parents or grandparents to this town.
Yeah.
And they are not safe. They are not safe.
It's supposed to be a
and
retired
APS,
state.
It is a retirement state.
Yeah.
And APS does nothing. And I'm talking from experience. APS, which is Adult Protective Services, they do nothing. They do nothing. They don't help. It is corrupt from the top to the bottom. And the police departments, the good guys, they don't stay. So what you got left are the bad guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, we do have some good, some of the good guys that have come out to report on Nancy's case that are still in the department, that have been demoted, that are speaking out. But the majority of these departments, these officers or deputies do not stay because they see what's going on. And it's a moral thing. And unless you align with, the corruptness with Nanos, then, and he was not voted in, by the way. He was not voted in. There is absolutely no way he was voted in. And I want your viewers to know that. But this community did not vote Nanos in.
So how did he get in?
Well, I don't know. How do you think? Like, there's been a recall for the mayor, and, it was like, I guess, 50 votes shy of her getting, ousted. And what does that tell you?
Yeah.
I mean, she's the mayor of all communities. However, the outside towns like 3 Points and Marana, and other outside towns, they are not allowed to vote for her or to even sign a recall. But she's still their mayor. I mean, what does that tell you? She's the mayor of Tucson, which is also the outside community. But they are not allowed to sign any kind of recall or to vote for or against her. It is, the system is set up to fail, period.
Yeah,
and, I hope you guys get, what is just for you. And, but people are not going to come out in Tucson because they're too afraid of what may happen to them.
People have been blackmailed. I think he's that powerful to that point where, he's got people out there that threaten these people, or he's just simply doing things to them to make them in fear. Just like our arrest,
Exactly.
I mean, it's just that simple.
Exactly. And it's just the normal community. They're afraid to speak up because we don't know if our phones are being tapped or who, or who is listening, or that's how corrupt that's how corrupt Tucson is. And it needs to be, people need to yell from the rooftop, from the mountaintop, that this place is bad. It's a bad place. And whatever happened to Nancy Guthrie can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
The jail, I don't know if you know this, the people who are in jail, who die in the jail, is the highest, I think, in the United States. Who die incarcerated in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that needs to be looked into.
Yeah.
But you go in for something, really minor, and you never come out.
Yeah.
You don't come out because you're dead.
Good point.
This is a fact. It's a fact. And people are not talking about that. Like, people are not talking about a whole lot that's going on in Tucson, Arizona.
Isn't that amazing how it's all gone quiet? I mean, I didn't realize how, I'm not going to even share too much details, but I didn't realize how powerful Nanos was until I went to jail. I realized he was much more powerful than I thought he was until, me and Criminal Network were in jail and how they treated us in there. I did not realize that. And that's all I'll say.
How did they treat you? Can you share that? Or are you not ready to? Because I know it's probably trauma.
It's not that I'm ready. We've shared it. We've told everybody, from the moment that we got in there, we knew, we already knew. He's got ties all the way into the Pima County Sheriff. All the way into the detention center. To me.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course he does.
I just don't know how you go to jail for something that you're not guilty of and get have a worse experience than you do when you are guilty. That's just, that was just crazy to me.
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to share, but I think it was just a really bad experience. It really was. Immediately when we got in there, we were thrown into the hole. You know what I'm saying? That's weird. That's weird to me. And that says a lot, because that obviously they didn't want us to even talk to anybody in the jail. For whatever reason, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But that's where we spent our time.
I think you should share the whole experience so people
most definitely
know what happened.
When this is all said and done, we definitely will. We'll share it all.
Yeah.
But it's you don't realize certain stuff until it happens to you.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Chris came out here, because he really made some good points. And one of the things that he said was he's removing all of the possible areas that people can go to search for answers. At least he's trying. On top of not wanting any help.
Yeah, I didn't agree with him, though, on the homeless aspect, like the homeless scenario that he gave to look into that community. I just shared how bad the homeless are here and that they are dangerous. I just don't think that fits into the Nancy Guthrie case. I really don't. I am not on board with that.
Run that by me again.
Chris was one of his scenarios was the homeless. That he was looking into the homeless aspect of being involved in the Nancy Guthrie case.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that. And as I have just expressed, that they are, extremely dangerous. They're not homeless. They don't want help. They just want the drugs. This is not a homeless situation. When you call these people homeless, it's different.
Well, he had addressed that, and he clarified that he didn't mean the homeless people. He was just saying that could be an area to start for digging up any, answers, or, digging up any little bit of information. Because you'll be surprised what the homeless people know. They know
the community.
Person.
Yeah. They do know because they are connected with each other.
Yeah.
And there's talk, and they're all a family on the street. The street people are a family. And you do one little thing that the street people don't like, they will all come after you. And everybody's in danger. That is the situation in Tucson.
Yeah.
I do not think that it fits to the Nancy Guthrie case. I just don't. I think it's, I think it's a wasted. I think that he spent. He was here a week. He spent a lot of time thinking about that, and I think that was possibly wasted time. That he could have been speaking to other people and going down other avenues. I could see
other people like who, though?
Well, I don't know. Anybody other than the homeless. He was here a week, and we didn't get any clear vision of what we already know. The things that he came up with, we already know. And so, although it is great that he is supporting you guys, that is a positive. But I did not get anything more than we already know out of him being here for a week. I just, I didn't.
Well,
and
I don't mean to cut you off, but what amazed
and I
me,
appreciate.
Well, what amazed me was the minute that he got on the ground, he felt everything that we've felt being actually, physically here. But again, what he mentioned when he was talking about the homeless was, he means go through this entire town if you have to dig up any information that you can. And, you never know who you may run across that might have, like we're talking about our conversation really revolves around people pretty much being shut down, like people being told not to speak or people being. So I think he meant to get out here and search, just like and that's the reason why, this is a good point. This is the reason why that he doesn't want the Cajun Navy to get out here, because they require the help of the community, and that's going to give them 10 times the manpower that they're already coming with. So if we can all spread out and scatter amongst the city, then that creates a higher chance for us to dig up information. That's what Chris meant.
Very true.
And
yeah, very true.
If we all can come together and we can all do that, we just might be close to that $1 million. I think that's the message that he was trying to send.
Yeah. Gosh. It's not about the money, though. It is about bringing justice.
Yeah, I don't even want it.
An individual. Yeah, and just, and I understand him bringing the dollar amount up to the homeless people or the street people, because, they may be incentive, they may have it may help them, but we're talking about these street people who don't even want food. Okay? I can't even express to you how I have helped these street people just by trying to give them food. They don't want food. We don't want that. Well, do you have this? I am not familiar, and I am not educated enough in the drug world, but I'm seeing it before my eyes. And but they don't even want food. You know, I mean, and a lot of these street people have animals. They have dogs. And, you know, I have given out bags of dog food. And because it's easy to go to a shelter, or there are several places, I mean, all over neighborhoods for the street people to go, or someone in need to go to get food, but not for the animals. Like, they don't have, it's very difficult to find food for the animals. So I give out baggies of food for their animals. But they don't want help. I can't, I mean, we're talking, you got hunched over people, like on every single street corner, walking down the street, all over Tucson. This is not an isolated situation. This is everywhere. And it is in, like you said, even in the nice communities. I'm just saying, I don't believe that this situation with Nancy Guthrie was with, any of these individuals on the street. I really don't. And I don't think they know anything. So I don't think it's that level. You know, it could be a worker, you know, I don't know. And I don't have enough factual information, none of us do, to form an opinion as to what happened to her. But I am saying that no one is safe here, especially the vulnerable elderly people are not safe in Tucson, Arizona. They're just not.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, even the people that are, you know, that can fend for themselves are not safe, let alone the elderly. And this town is riddled with elderly people that have money. And so, you know, there's another connection. It is not with, it is certainly not with the street people. There is another connection here, and it has to do with something else, not the homeless. And I think Chris was off there. I think he was off in that analogy. And I respect, him and his wife. I follow them.
Well, he never said he could be right. He said he could be right or he could be wrong. It's just something to try and see where we get. It's not really a for sure thing.
Well, and he did say, look, instead of sitting outside of, Nancy's house, maybe you could do this and find out, some other thing. Maybe you could find out something else. Maybe something else will come from, you following up on the street people. Other shenanigans with the police department or, what have you. More action is best than no action, right?
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's what he was getting, he possibly was getting to, that maybe more action, and it doesn't matter what it is, just get out on the street, get out there and talk to whomever you have to talk to, rather than, it's just we've heard all of the stuff. We've heard all of this from everybody. It's just a recycling of information. How about something new? Even if it has to do with bringing down Nanos, for his corruptness. Maybe that would come into view here. There's got to be something more positive out of the situation than what's happening now, which is basically nothing. And there's so much here. So much has been brought out about this, Tucson and this corruptness that is going on, that is permeating through every single department. And, like I said, anything is better than nothing. So if he's saying get out there in the streets, I guess.
What else choice do we have right now besides getting out in the streets? I don't think we have any other choice there's other things you can do, but I think we start there. And you never know, it might lead us somewhere else.
Yeah. And fighting for yourself.
Yeah.
That's huge. Because, it's not just the judges are corrupt too.
Yeah.
There's corruptness all over in this. They all know each other. And,
corrupt lawyers too.
You talk bad, corrupt lawyers?
I think so.
Oh my gosh. Corrupt lawyers, they all know each other. It's like a little clique. Everybody here in this town of Tucson. And, I'm in a probate situation where I've been told I should not find any attorney in Tucson. I need to go outside of Tucson, go to Phoenix, go to wherever. Not in Tucson. And so, it is, it's like a fishbowl here. Like you come in, it's a beautiful aesthetic desert here. It really is amazing. There is foliage here and cactus that is nowhere else but here in the world. And yet it is the worst place to be if you are in the know, like if you are awakened, if you get it. If you're just asleep, if you're just a sleepwalker, it's a beautiful place. But, eventually you have to be awakened, right? Here we are. People need to be awakened. You guys are doing that. And thank you very much for that. You are the warriors. And you need to look at yourself in that manner. Yeah. Yep.
Try to get some other phone calls in before I get off for the night. What was your name again?
Okay. My name is Sasha.
Sasha. Well, thank you for calling, and feel free to call me anytime. We can always talk some more. I'm sure we'll talk again.
I appreciate that, and thank you for what you are doing. And you hang in there. You be strong. This is going to be okay. You got people that are behind you, so you're going to be all right. And so are the other guys. You just know that you're the warriors, and stay strong, and thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And much love.
Okay. All right. And to your family as well. You take care, okay?
Much love. You too.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, she just didn't get it. She kept going back to, she thinks Chris means that we just want to talk to the homeless, and that's not the case. You know, that's not what he meant at all. You know, but that's a good place to start. You know, as far as certain points that she made, yeah, she's correct about, you know, us not being safe. But this isn't guys, this isn't a time where we bow down. This is not the time where we bow down. We must be brave. This isn't about content anymore. So if you plan on going out to parks just to do it, then you shouldn't be out there. If you're going to be scared to go and talk to people, and if you don't know how to talk to people, then it's just not for you. And I think she said that one of the things that we're doing is just recycling information. Well, we're going to keep recycling information until something clicks. That is just that simple to me. We're going to keep recycling until something clicks. And I'm not just going to talk to homeless people. I'm talking to everybody. I'm not just going to talk to homeless people. If someone's there and they seem like they want to talk, then we're going to talk. But I'm not going to get out here and be scared. And I know people are concerned about, you know, my safety, and they say, don't go alone. If I have to, I will. And I'm going to move at all hours. I'm sorry, folks, but I'm going to move at all hours. I'm not going to tell you my location and all that stuff, but I'm moving in the morning, the afternoon, the night, whatever. I mean, if you really want to dig up information and you want to get out there and find answers, you got to do what it takes. To me, you got to do what it takes. But this is not about content anymore. If you got to turn off the camera, turn off the camera. I mean, if you feel like you're that unsafe, turn off. I'm keeping my thing rolling, though, because that's part of my safety. But you don't have to be streaming. You know, you don't have to. But again, you know, this is not just about, you know, going out and getting some footage because you want a couple thousand views. This is not what this is for. We're fighting for our freedom, for crying out loud here. But Chris was not saying that. He was not saying go talk to homeless people. And he came out and did another video because of that reason, because people were misled on what they thought, on what, you know, they thought that he said or what he meant. And I'm just about ready to stop telling people any little bit of my idea, because I'm about to get out here and just go do it. I'm not even, you know, I appreciate him giving us the hunch as far as giving us an idea. But in time, I got to develop my own as well. And I think that revolves around us getting out there and doing it. I mean, some people just aren't going to get it. They're not going to understand the whole point of doing things, because a lot of people are getting impatient and they see nothing happening. But when you have a puzzle with thousands of pieces, it takes a long time. You don't just put it all together in one day. And that's the best way I can put it in words. It takes time. We'll take a couple more calls here before I get off here. I wanted to talk for a second here, so I had shut down the phone line for a little second, but let me pull this phone line back up here, because it's almost bedtime for me. It's getting pretty close. I think we missed a couple calls here. Feel free to chime back in, guys. I'm sorry I shut down the phone line for a second, so I wasn't able to get to your call right away. But we'll kind of cut them, not as long as that last one. That was fairly long. That way we could kind of get through a couple people here. No, I'm not saying anybody thinks I'm scared. Or, I know people are really worried about our safety. I'm worried about it too, but I can't be scared, or, I can't be worried about what's going to happen. It's the juice.
Hey, Juice, it's Gertrude.
Hey, what's up, Gertrude?
How are you doing, Juice?
I'm hanging in there. Hanging in there.
I'm so glad I'm awake for your stream.
Hey, I'm glad you stuck around to catch it.
Juice, I'm hoarse. Let me ask you, have you ever heard of something called a hash hole? HASHHOLE?
I don't think so. What's that?
I was at the weed store and I saw a sign. It said hash hole. I said, what is a hash hole? It was this giant joint just stuffed with hash in there. I said, give me one, And I was just going to take a couple little puffs while I watched the juice. I smoked it to the face. I smoked the whole thing, Juice.
Oh, Lord.
But I do have something to say. I'm excited about the homeless encampment idea. Only because I think that camp is good if the Camp Tommaso would know where it was. And I think he would go there looking for illegal stuff. I think if he needed a Wi-Fi jammer or some pills, you can buy any kind of drugs there. He might have thought, oh, maybe that's where I could get Nancy's blood thinners, keep her alive. If you were just to go there and ask everyone, hey, did someone come around here looking for a Wi-Fi jammer a few months ago? They might start talking about Tommaso. Yeah, this bald guy did come around here, this weird-ass dude looking for a Wi-Fi jammer. You never know.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Because that's where he...
Yeah, that's the mentality we need to have going out there and searching. You never know. And like you said, show them a picture of Porch Guy. Show them the backpack.
Show them a picture of Tommaso.
I mean, if you feel like you strongly about who you think it is, yeah. Why not? I mean, I personally, I don't know about all of that, but I mean,
yeah, that's true.
You never know.
Yeah.
You'd be
You know what I
surprised.
was thinking? Juice, I was wondering, why am I the only person in the world who thinks Savannah Guthrie is guilty? I think she's behind this whole thing. I think her and Tommaso had to take Nancy out because she caught them fucking.
She caught the what?
She caught them fucking.
Dang. That's kind of hard.
Yeah, and I know. And then I think, why am I the only one who will say Savannah's guilty? And then I think, maybe I'm just high. Or maybe I can't be the only one in the whole world who doesn't give a fuck about the Today Show, Juice. I can't be.
No, I don't think you're the only one. I've had several callers call in and think, that Savannah there's a possibility she has something to do with it. And to be honest with you, I didn't know nothing about the Today Show until I knew of the Today Show, but I didn't really know who was on it until this all happened. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I just
I don't
think
watch it. So, I mean,
I don't watch it either. And I feel like you can't trust a lady who has no lips. Have you ever noticed Savannah has no lips?
yeah, yeah.
She doesn't have lips. And in that memorial video, you know how I feel. I feel like if I was to look at her and Tommaso together, and the first thing I think is, he's fucking her, Nancy had to notice. If I noticed, Nancy had to notice. And if Nancy noticed, and she said, I'm going to tell, that could have been the end of Savannah's career right there. She would have had to do something.
You never know. I don't know. I don't think. For me, I don't see it. I don't think Savannah would have any interest in Tommaso. But you never know. I guess you'd be surprised what happens behind the scene in this world.
I know you don't. And that's why I called you. So you can talk me down. You talk me down because I get on one. And I just feel like she's so guilty.
It's possible. So you don't think that pain she showed was real? Like, you don't think?
No, I feel like, no, she's an actress. And I think Annie's pain looked real. Annie didn't take the time to do her hair. Annie was sad. Savannah came out all proper, looking good, feeling up Annie's husband, sliding her hand down his sweatshirt.
Oh, Lord.
But I just thought it was so weird. I did. But, Juice, I'm going to let you get back to your show. I do want to tell you that I love the homeless encampment idea only because I feel like that's where somebody would have went to buy something illegal. And I feel like they would have went to the place they're familiar with, and that place would have been familiar to Tommaso if his wife worked right there. And I think that's a great place to start. And I also think anyone who's ever spent time with homeless people or worked with homeless people knows they're really not that scary. They usually don't have guns because guns are worth money. And if they have stuff worth money, they're going to sell it or trade it, for the things they need. So it's not like a bunch of hardcore criminals with guns. I think you will be fine just going in there, asking the questions, and hopefully find Nancy, bring Nancy home. I really, really hope we find Nancy.
Yeah, and people got to use their critical thinking. Seriously. It's not just food and water. There's other things that you could bring, to if you have to, bribe them. If you have to, bring a couple dollars.
They're going to want
We
cigarettes.
know what they're going to use it for, unfortunately. But I mean, yeah, like good point. Cigarettes. Exactly.
Yeah, they love cigarettes. If you think about it, whenever there's homeless people at Circle K, they always want a cigarette.
Exactly.
Or I might see them, if I see someone outside, it's hot, I'll always say, hey, you want to come in the store with me, grab a fountain drink, give them a chance to cool off, and I'll always say, do you want a snack or something? They always pick candy. They always want candy, a cold drink, a cigarette. That's it. They're, sometimes they'll be like, do you need $1? They'll tell me, oh, no, I've got money. The same ones that are out there every day that know me. No, I'm good. They'll tell me.
And I know it sounds bad, but we got to be realistic here. I mean, some of these people were going through withdrawals and stuff like that. So, of course, they're not hungry. Of course, they're not hungry. When most people are withdrawing and stuff, they can't eat.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do for them. Food is not going to be, it's not going to be helpful. So,
It's true. But a cigarette always makes them feel better. And at a homeless encampment, they can go trade a couple cigarettes to get high. So then, and that's just how it works, So definitely bring the cigarettes and some candy, and they'll love you just who you are because you don't look like a cop. You're going to get all kinds of good information.
Hey,
to see
good
if
point.
anyone,
Yeah.
just, did anyone come trying to buy some weird pills, some blood thinners? They will
Hey,
remember that.
good point.
So, yeah. All right, Juice, you have a good morning. I'll be watching
All
you.
right.
I'm so glad I got to see your show. Thanks for talking me down. You're probably right about Savannah. And
Yeah.
I'll be watching.
Much
All
love.
right,
Thanks.
bye,
Thanks for
Juice.
calling.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. See, I mean, even being, high on some weed, she had some good points. I mean, but we got to be realistic, folks. I mean, like I said, food is great. You can leave them with some food, but, people that are going through withdrawals and stuff, they're not going to be hungry and they're not even thinking about food. They're thinking about their next fix. And I'm not saying bring drugs. I'm not saying give them the money so they can go get some drugs, but you want to you want to find a way to get the folks talking, and you also want to find a way, like Chris was saying, to make people remember you. Like he said, pull out a card. He would tell people, hey, I got, people would ask him for his card and he'd say, here's my card. And then on the card, it would say my card. And, he'd get them laughing, and that's a way to kind of get people to, it makes you distinctive. You're giving them distinctive things about you to remember you. So maybe you won't get answers out of that person that day, but maybe revisiting, maybe you'll catch that person on a good day and maybe they'll want to talk to you. It's going to take work. It's not going to just be, visit one time. Sometimes you got to revisit places. Gut feelings too sometimes. Gut feelings, guys. Sometimes you got to go with that. Let's call this person back real quick.
Hello.
Hi, it's the Juice. I think I missed your call.
Hey, Juice. It's Paula. I emailed you yesterday about the hair fibers.
Oh, I'm glad you called. Yeah, because I think, I think I told you to call me. Didn't I say that? I think I did. Yes.
Yeah, you did. You sent me an
Man,
email back.
perfect timing.
So my brother's a barber, and what I was noticing on Porch Guy, the mustache and the beard, these hair fibers, it's kind of hard to explain, but they're applied like by using a moist spray. They spray on the face or wherever the hair is thinning, and then they have another little can that actually sprays out these little hair fibers, and they attach. But it's like temporary. It's kind of like, ladies getting their nails done. It's temporary, and it washes out after a while. But
So,
my thought was
real
they
quick,
could have did that.
I don't mean to cut you
Sure.
off, but is it like black ice? Have you
I'm
ever
not.
heard of that?
I'm not. No, I've never. I'm not
So it's
familiar
like,
with that.
say I don't have a hairline and they use, black ice or
Yeah.
something to fill it in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of like that.
Okay.
But it looks, it really looks like hair. So it's something that they could have put on to make it look like they had a thicker mustache or a thicker beard, or, it will attach. You have to have some kind of hair fiber, I think, or some kind of hair there for it to attach. But that kind of was my idea, that it just looks so dark that it doesn't look realistic. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I've been thinking that from day one.
Interesting.
And I don't
For
think
the mustache?
yeah, for the mustache. And then I'm not really for sure what my thoughts are as far as who the porch guy may be, but my idea in the beginning was, I know on JLR's live, there was a video. There was a guy within the first 3 or 4 days after Nancy disappeared, that was moving out abruptly. And that was just kind of weird how they just moved and nobody asked no questions, followed up on it or anything. But of course, it doesn't look like they're following up on much at all.
As far as who?
I'm not for sure with one of the neighbors. He actually said on JLR's live he didn't like all the attention. That's when all the news was out there, when all the media was out there. And I mean, it was just the one time that they showed him, and he's been gone and hasn't came back, I don't think. And I don't know if it's an empty house. It's close. It's close to Nancy's. I know that, but nobody ever followed up on it, so which was kind of strange.
I wish I knew which. Are you? Wait a minute. You talking about the houses where the people left and moved out right away?
Yeah, yeah.
Juanita might know a little bit about that. I can't remember who told me something about that. I don't know if it was 2 guys that were living in the house and they moved out, or it was 3, or it was a couple. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, so that was strange to me too, but that's just my thoughts. And hey, chat, I love everybody in the chat too. You guys keep it entertaining. And Juice, I love what you and Alex and 857 and JLR's out there doing. I keep your guys' heads up. You know, when it comes to fighting for rights, you really are representing all of us. It's, you know, that's another story to tell, but just hang in there, and I know God's got you. You are so humble. Send love to your kids and your girlfriend. You know, you really are making a difference, and I know it feels like a lot of weight, but God's there to help you carry it.
Hey, I appreciate that, and blessings to you and your family as well. That means a lot.
Thank you. And that's all I have. Thanks, guys.
All right, much love.
Much love to you.
Well, shouts to her calling in. I appreciate her chiming in. I think we missed another call here. We'll see if this person's awake. It's late, but I think it's also a good thing to return folks' calls. And some people really just kind of give up because they call in. They're like, man, forget it. Every time I call. Let's see if this person's awake, though.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach.
We tried. Let me see if I'm familiar with this number anyway. So let's see if we've... No, we've never interacted with one another at all. Karina, thanks so much for subscribing to the channel here. Shouts Karina. Much love. I might have missed a couple other notifications, so I apologize, guys. I was so locked in on a couple of these calls. Thank you guys for all the jewels, by the way. Much love. Cara Smith, Cowgirl, and Rosa. Much love, guys. I appreciate that. Adrian says, let's get the juice to 600 likes. I know. It's like we're getting less and less likes, right? Where are we at likewise right now? Dang, we're only at 500, huh? Well, that's actually pretty good. We haven't had a crazy amount of people chimed in. Don't forget, yeah, much love, Adrian. Thanks so much. Inspire Michelle, good to see you in the chat, by the way. Don't forget, yeah, guys, you know, like the video. And as I always say, it helps the algorithm. You know, it definitely helps somebody else discover the channel. Subscribe if you're enjoying the channel as well. But yeah, let's get this thing. You know what? Let's go a little higher than that. Let's go for 700. Let's go for 700, man. I mean, we got 900 people. I think it's highly possible. Bruce said let's go for 1 million. Well, Bruce, I think we're going to have to start sharing the stream. I think we should probably just go ahead and get started now. I'll be back in about a couple hours. We'll see where we're at. Matter of fact, I'll be back next week, and we probably still won't be there. Hey, man, Bruce, much love. He's got high hopes, man. Dang. I thought I had this zoomed in. Man. I thought I had my porch guy video already ready to go. Where we at? Where we at likewise? I think we get to 700. Oh, we're almost to 6. We're almost to 600. We're getting there. Whether you're a Bible thumper or a stone thumper, all views are welcome, man. Shouts to Radio. I appreciate it. Hey, good message. By the way, speaking of the Bible, I think it was inspired Michelle, because I wasn't joking. I wrote down the scriptures that you guys shared with me. Don't write any down right now, because I still gotta get to a few of them. But I think she recommended, if I can remember off the top, I think it was Psalms 36. Maybe it was 36. I can't remember. I'd have to look. But that was a good scripture. That was a very good scripture. So thanks, Inspired Michelle, for sharing that scripture with me. I might have got it wrong. I don't know if you remember, but appreciate that. $5.99. We're really inching it, guys. We'll get there. I think we'll get there. At least 600. I think we'll get to 1K. I don't think we'll get to 1K while I'm on though, but I think we'll get there. Wonder why you never speak into the mic? Because I have the mic turned up, so I don't. I mean, guys, we'll get there. If I speak into the mic, it's already going to be too. I mean, it's loud. It's not loud enough. Sounds like it's loud enough. I think we'll get there. At least 600. I think we'll get to 1. Mic sounds good. Good point, though. I really don't, though, because it's over here. I got to move it. I usually have it, well, originally I had it right in front of me, but with the setup that I have now, it's kind of not in the right place that I want it. But maybe I'll move it tomorrow, man. See, now you're going to make me move the mic. I think it sounds cool where it's at, though. And I've got it turned up pretty loud. So if I talk into the mic, it might be too loud. I mean, it's probably going to sound good, but it's pretty loud. Juice, you should put all the clues and such into a program called, how do you say that? Obsidian? And it will kind map it for us. Interesting. I don't know what that means exactly. Like, what clues? You're talking about the clues that one being the one we talked about, which was the light. Mind map? Never heard of that. See, Donna said I was loud enough.
Thank you, Donna. I mean, if you guys want me to talk differently, we can talk differently too. We don't even have to sound like this. If you guys could please get just to 1,000 likes tonight, I would highly appreciate it. Cowgirl, how you doing? Miss name's Les. I saw you retract that deleted message there. You're not slick, buddy. We have all kind of options with the mic. So, I mean, if it's not loud enough, you know, we can always turn the pitch up. Okay?
Jim Jones. Alley Girl on Fire says fabulous. Thank you. Oh my God, what in the world? When we answer the phone like this too? Neat.
Juice.
Hey, Juice, how you going? Dave from Australia.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. How you doing?
Oh, I'm hanging in there.
Oh, that's good, mate. That's good. Tell you what, it's crazy, this case, eh? It's sort of like, after it
Figured
first
I'd give
started,
you
I
guys
thought,
something to
yeah, it
wake
was
y'all
going to
up.
go somewhere. And then it just, like, stalled.
Wait, say that again? What's
When the
stalled?
case,
Oh, yeah.
the Nancy Guthrie case, when it first started, you sort of felt like, yeah, this could get some like stuff happening and that, and you could see the police and all that working and in action. But then it just like stopped. Everything sort of just stopped, and it just wow, you know,
You don't
crazy.
think you don't think it just feels that way? You don't feel like they're moving behind the scenes?
Yeah, they could be moving behind the scenes, but normally when they do, you can sort of get a feeling for like something's going on, and you just can't get that with this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like something tells me that the silence is there for a reason.
Yeah, I reckon that could be it too. And like, you know, with a case like that, I guess you probably, as you know, from law enforcement sort of side of it, you wouldn't really want to let too much out, you know. But it just seems too strange.
Yeah. Yeah. Something's definitely being
Anyway,
covered up for sure. I think.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
but I won't hold you up.
No, that's all right, brother. You keep doing what you're doing, and what you're doing is very important. So don't let nobody stop you.
Hey, indeed, much love, and I appreciate that, and that's only going to give me more
No worries,
confidence.
my man.
Much love, brother.
Sweet as, brother. I'll catch you later. You have a great day.
All right, you too.
Good. There you go.
All right, shouts to him calling out. Wow, Buttercup. Good morning. Man, thanks so much for the 10 gifted. Insane. Shouts Buttercup. I appreciate that a lot, Buttercup. We have officially had a couple new, several new members. A lot, actually. All thanks to Buttercup. Shouts to Buttercup. Fast Eddie. Mummy. Looks like Hev. Lane. Dean, Greg, and BK are all officially members, along with Missouri. All thanks to Buttercup. Sheesh. Insane. Yeah, that was very sweet of Buttercup, man. Hopefully you're getting a nice start to your morning. If it's morning where you're at. I'm not too sure if you're in the U.S., but much love. Much, much love. Can you do a Aussie accent? I don't know. Probably. Maybe. Me personally, no. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's probably, I'm assuming it's probably in here it's probably in here somewhere. I mean, I've got a whole lot of different voices that I can, change in between. And there's a lot of like human voices too. So yeah, I'm assuming that there's probably an Aussie voice in here. But I haven't looked, so I couldn't tell you guys. What's up, Buttercup? I truly appreciate it, though. Barbara says hello from my Ohio. Shouts Ohio. Much love. Gertrude says the voice kills me. I like doing the voice changes. I usually do them in the beginning of the stream. I just don't really, because we're not here to just be messing around. But I usually like to kind of change the voice, just like as an intro. But other than that, I kind of stay focused on the case. But every now and then, I like to make the folks laugh for sure. Just Jalen, big welcomes, by the way. Good morning to you, Buttercup. Good morning. Anyways, guys, I'm excited, to be able to get back out here and make effortless efforts to try to do whatever we can to, not only keep Nancy's name out there, but, just another, different way of trying to, discover more information or dig up any more information that, we possibly can. And, I'll utilize that to the best of my ability as far as getting out here and doing so. Don't know when I am. Probably not going to announce it. Probably won't even say where I'm going to go if I do get out here. I don't even know for sure that we're going to get out here on the ground. It'd be nice to, though. Just because I've got high hopes. I'm a very social person, so I think that I'm pretty good at, digging up not just information, but, sparking a conversation. So I think with the homeless people, it can be challenging though, because they're, some of them, obviously they have, you got all type of things out there. People with mental issues, people withdrawing, people just going through all type of stuff, so it's a challenge for sure. But that's not the specific goal, it's just to only speak with homeless people. You might stumble across somebody walking their dog at the park where there are a lot of homeless people that are interesting to see what you're showing somebody else or whatever the case may be. Adrian, thanks so much. She says, gotta bounce back, guys. I got a call at 1 p.m. my time. Take care, Juice. Speak soon and chat. You're all awesome. Lots of love for me, Adrian Scotland. Much love, Adrian. Appreciate you chiming in. Much love. Thank you for all your love and support as well. Right now, it's 4:34 in the morning, which means it is very much so time for me to go to bed. Way past the time I've been wanting to get on earlier. If I don't see you guys tomorrow night, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I got a really I got some stuff I got to do, of course. I'm sure you guys know. So I want to spend a little bit of time doing that, along with spending a little bit of time with the family. So tomorrow it's time to kind of lock in on some things we got to do as far as taking care of business here. So that is the goal. That's the goal. I just sent you an email with pics of Porch Guy. Check it out before we get out of here. Somebody sent me a picture earlier and it was like, I'm assuming it's, oh no, this wasn't what I was expecting. Is this the, oh, okay. I see who this is. This is Mijito. Do you guys remember who Mijito is? I don't even, I mean, he said it was Porch Guy too. That goes to show, I'm guessing you're confident of who you think it actually is. Hold on. I'll show you guys who that is if you guys aren't familiar with Mijito. Okay. Yeah, please do, Juanita. Hey, take care, D. Hudson. Thanks so much for stopping by tonight. Yes, Kuhneberger, that's correct. Yes, indeed. Let me show y'all who he's talking about. What is this? Okay, this is not here. I'll show you guys who he's talking about. For those of you guys that are not familiar, because there's been so many people in this case. And some people we forget about just because there's just been so many people. And I'll show both the pictures that he sent. Because both of them are, well, one's not so good because one of them, his back is turned, so. But you can see the side of his face, so, I mean, it's fair. That's Mijito. So this is supposed to be the DJ, pretty much, I think, Kalela and Tommaso. And we know Kalela and Tommaso are in two different bands. They had, they were at a concert. They had their own concerts downtown. I think it was Club Congress is where they would do their shows. And both of those concerts were not on the same dates, but they were fairly close. And, Tucson's a small world. So, these guys, obviously, if they haven't met, because I'm sure they probably have, if they haven't, at the very least, they know of one another. But this would be the DJ of both the two. I mean, if he's the DJ of both of them, then they for sure know one another. So this is one of the reasons why people think that Kalela knows something. But don't look past the fact that you could still be friends with somebody, but not really be friends with somebody, if that makes sense. Like, you guys could be friends, but you guys may not be close enough to know each other's personal business. So that's not Kalela. That's going to be the DJ. Mijito. I mean, Juanita would know if I'm saying that wrong or right. I think I'm saying it right. I thought I had a picture up here of Kalela because we were talking about Kalela the other day, but I don't. So, sorry, folks. I did have one, though. So this is Kalela. You guys should know how Kalela looks because he's the one that's really talked about the most right now. Because Kalela's got a court date. Well, I guess scratch that because his picture won't come up. Here, I can pull it up like this. Oh, I don't think I see it. Juice, you have the perfect accent when saying mijito. Hey, come on now. I grew up in the hood, manita. Come on now. ¿Qué onda, güey? ¿Qué pasa? No, I know a little Spanish, Juanita. Poquito. You kind of got to know a little bit, you know? I don't really show them, too many sides. I got a couple sides of me I don't really show, but yeah, I mean, man, Hey, much love, guys. I appreciate everybody chiming in tonight, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one, guys. Till next time, folks. It's your boy, the Juice. I hope you guys all have a good night, man. God bless you guys all. Much love, folks. Much love.
Yeah. We won't bow down. Yeah. Yeah. They shut the gate too fast. Call it peace, call it class. But I see who they wave through, and I see who they ask to move. Porch lights on the same old block, same old story, same old talk. If your skin says you don't belong, they can make a wrong look strong. But the fences don't define us, and the fear they feel will blind us. Every face they try to hide still stands right here tonight. Keep us out, keep us out, keep us out. We know what that is about. Keep us out, keep us out. We won't bow down. Keep us out, keep us out, keep us out. Your fear won't right the route. Keep us out, keep us out. We won't bow down. Names get tossed like stones from a driveway built on loans. They pointed brown hands first, then pretend they don't rehearse. But the steps on every street carry more than whitewashed dreams. We belong where we stand, no permission in our hands. Yeah, and the silence won't protect you when the pattern keeps on showing. Every wall they build in pride makes the truth come back alive. Keep us out, keep us out, keep us out. We know what that is about. Keep us out, keep us out. We won't bow down, 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 down. Keep us out, keep us out, keep us out. Your fear won't right the route. Keep us out, keep us out. We won't bow down, 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 down. Let it crack, let it show. Every lie they try to grow, one by one, the voices rise till the whole thing can't disguise. always relieve before you leave. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. I was a black man walking, they say so every night. I hit the streets all up on Sue Ellen's easement. So every night I pray that I don't have to urinate. I think I may have drank too much liquids, bladder filled to the max. Don't know how much longer I can hold it. Pressure building up. Posted up on the corner all day. Anyway, every way, like hey, I feel the pain back. Simmering in my brain, the thoughts and sounds of waterfalls got me about to lose control. Neighborhood watch on my mind. With Sue Ellen, who's at the helm. I'm out here riding solo and on my own. Nobody to keep lookout or distract her, so I can complete operation. Go anywhere but my pants. This is gonna be a mission impossible, getting rid of liquid gold. I'm about to lose control. Starting to do the ants in my pants dance, praying that it goes away. But all I can hear and see is streams, rivers and raging water. It's the devil trying to break the seal. I see the porta potty out of the corner of my eye, about 6 or 7 houses down. Hope it's not occupied, or I'm a riot. Cause it's AZ every day, all day, till the day I die. I'm creeping through your set with a mini pack of H on route. Please pray I don't feel the warmth run down my leg. Please, Lord, I'm on my way. Rest in peace. Call me agent, 00 drank too much juice. Thank God I didn't have any prune juice, so I have to take a deuce. Shout out to the foreman of the construction crew. Up the street said feel free to use anytime. The home is unoccupied at this time. Just don't get caught going outside. And the new description of the porch guy would be a black guy with one eye. Rest in peace. Can no longer hold it, I'm halfway there. Speed. Walking like I was at Disneyland, headed to my favorite ride. Barely made it up inside, ready to take aim. Had closed my eyes in relief, I think I broke the world record for longest release. Filled it to the brim, as I open my eyes, I see in disbelief. All the graffiti on the wall along political hate. In a typical call this number for good time, but there's one that caught my eye and read like this. Have you seen Brian Guthrie or know his number? Please, please message me. Here's my number. Instagram handle and personal email at the bottom. P.S. Fuck Walter Nash, that piece of shit drug dealer. Defense attorney douchebag, period. Followed by a picture of a feather. I don't get it, but whatever, I feel better. Rest in peace. Feeling like a new man, the $1 million man. After the P, felt around the world. I just got back to my seat on the street. After that great release. Yo, chat, what up? I'm back now. Where were we at? Hey, chat, you hear that? Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the police. Hey, shit, chat, someone's in trouble. Who could it be? Yeah, I took a pee, but in the porta potty. Well, that's private property. My bad, dog. Y'all, chat, close one, y'all. Was just told us a warning this time and heard JLR said he was gonna pay the fine if I had gotten cited. Much love appreciated. I'm thankful for that. Chat, imagine if I decided to run just to get Rodney King and Molly Wop to my demise. The difference is I wouldn't have been high on PCP like he was and felt everything. Ouch. Rest in peace.